We Aboriginal people are universal. Our dreaming doesn't separate heaven from earth, as we are connected to the universe from the ground, our mother, to the trees, to the animals, to the sky, to the stars, to the sun and the moon.
I can hear their calling as they ride through me their song, and I can feel their spirits as they're singing me back home to travel across the land of our people still so strong to take it either back to where he belongs. So let's stand up together. Bring your totems to our fire. Let's stand up together and bring the spirit back to life as we place them in the sands. Like the eagles they'll soar higher. Let's stand up together as our tribes all unite. UNITY spells for unity. UNITY.
We are born with connection to our ancestors through our blood. Our hearts beat the same, whether or not we are conscious of it. Our ancestor spirit carries it and is connected to our spirits, just as every generation before. Our blood and our spirit is our key, not the colour of our skin.
One by one we'll take it to the top. A message from our dream. Till we get there, we won't stop. Won't you sing with me, my sister? Yes, sing with me, my friend. Sing with me, my brother. Sing it to a brother, man. As one till the end. Let's stand up together. Bring your totems to our fire. Let's stand up together and bring the spirit back to life as we place them in the sands. Like the eagles they'll soar higher. Let's stand up together as our tribes all unite. Well, U is for universal unity, and negotiations for peace are necessary. I is instill international integrity to turn the tides of tyranny. Why? 'Cause that's the way it should be when we all stand together universally.
Close your eyes and imagine it. Feel it as your spirit comes into consciousness. Connect to your ancestors. No matter where you are, you will always have your connection to your country and your ancestors, as your ancestor spirit will never leave you. Trust in it and let it guide you. We are all brothers and sisters in the global community. Let us unite. Justice, peace, harmony for all.
Let's stand up together. Bring your totems to our fire. Let's stand up together and bring that spirit back to life as we place them in the sand. Like the eagles they'll soar higher. Let's stand up together as our tribes all unite. UNITY spells for unity. UNITY. UNITY spells for unity. UNITY.
We are rising in power all over the world. Our hearts hold the visions of our ancestors. Together we will stand.
Rising up, rise, a new earth rising, rise, it's a new earth rising, rise, new earth rising, rising in love, we rise,
New earth rising.
rise,
New earth rising.
rise,
New earth rising.
rising in love, we rise, it's a new earth rising, rise, see the new earth rising, rise, feel the new earth rising, rising in love, we rise,
New earth rising.
rise,
New earth rising.
rise,
Rising.
rising in love, we rise, we rise, we rise, we rise, rising up.
Welcome, welcome everybody. Welcome back to the symposium, Awakening to Humanity's Sacred Mission, an international symposium and call to action. And boy, have we had some amazing calls to action these last 3 sessions, this last day and a half. And this is session 4, which is devoted to a subject I know is so close to everybody's hearts in this community and around the world, now perhaps more than ever, and that is peacemaking. And together with the co-host today, John Raymer, we've assembled an extraordinary global collection of peacemakers who are living the work of actually bringing peace and bestowing peace in their communities and around the world. So it's going to be a really rich and, again, interactive session. We're going to be having the visionary voices for the next hour or so, and then into the community engagement room, into the participants room for more interactivity, engagements, calls to action as we take action together collectively, get on board. It's amazing to see people joining One World, joining the Hollow Movement, getting into the connection field, taking action. And we're going to have a lot more about that today. There's so much to share and so much to get into. So let's go back and let's keep this golden thread flowing forward. Dr. Julie Krull has been doing these beautiful syntheses at the start of every session. Now there's 3 sessions that have gone before us, Julie. So these syntheses just get even richer. But welcome back to session 4, Dr. Julie Krull, Good of the Whole and the Connection Field. Julie, where are we up to?
Oh, thank you, Ben. You know, it was really fun. I like last night's session I did in the morning, like I did it, and I had these beautiful daylight hours to do today's. And it was just a really profound experience for me to go through the notes and really land this. So hopefully you'll all enjoy this little recap. But first, I'll invite you all to take a few conscious, heart-filled breaths with me. And bring your awareness into this present moment. Bring your whole self into this room, into the symposium, into presence with us. In session 1, we explored humanity's sacred mission, and we began with one big breath. We talked about the big breath instead of the big bang. And Jude Currivan invited us to all breathe as one, to breathe the one big breath and connect that with a little breath. So take a few breaths, because we invite you to bring your awareness into your heart space throughout this entire symposium. And as you allow that big breath to breathe you, we all come into greater coherence together. We will make a larger impact on the planet. We're building a unitive field. So take that big breath and allow that big breath to breathe all of us into synchronicity, into coherence. And listen to this poem from David Lorimer. It's called The Golden Thread. Setting out from afar, we are tasked to undertake a journey, to follow our golden thread into the labyrinth of life. Wandering along, we look out for something when first we need to look inside for stillness. Content in silence within, we can proceed with a surer step along the path, present in and to the moment. Sometimes we simply stumble, we lose the thread, forgetting who we are and where we're going. Just wait and trust. Don't think, don't stress, don't rush around. Listen to the quiet voice of your heart, the heart that knows, the heart that deeply feels. Only then can the golden thread appear, and in no time you'll find yourself at home in the center of the labyrinth of life and love. So we all here encourage you to continue to breathe and return to your heart throughout our session today. Consciously weave your golden thread with one another in community. And for a synthesis of where we've been so far, in session 1, we learned that humanity's sacred mission is all about unity, love, and consciousness. There's a coherent evolutionary process of wholeness in motion. That coherent evolutionary process is us and created us. In session 2, we pulled the golden threads of unity, love, and consciousness into implementation. One theme that wove through all of the visionary voices was an encouragement to bring nature and the sacred into all of our solutions, all of our vocations, all of our daily moment-by-moment choices, from food production to business, money and economics to policy and governance. We must be in right relationship with the planet to serve humanity. And in session 3, we pulled the golden threads of implementation forward to synergize for change. The common theme for the session was a recognition. There's an evolutionary impulse calling us together to gather and organize. There's a global movement towards synergizing organizations, communities, and networks of networks for greater coherence. We explored a unitive worldview, heart-based partnerships, empowerment, coherence, innovation, and a new narrative. We recognized that there's a superpower on the planet, and it is us. It really is all of us in motion, wholeness in motion. We are embodied extensions of the superorganism that is life. It's time to synergize and develop our dormant and evolutionary capacities. In communities of practice, we become a more coherent expression of the whole. We also relax into the knowing that we indeed are sacred. Only through synergy and coherence will we reach our evolutionary potential. So here's a few tips from our voices, our visionary voices. Align your work with what you love. Be in joyful service. Innovation comes from coherence and divine integration. Be inspired by unexpected people. Only in wholeness can you step into your superhuman capacities. Embodiment is the result of synergy with the unified field of everything. Attune your mind to the divine and live in heart-centered gratitude. And an invitation to invoke other levels of being. We can't make this transition alone. One more. More than a sacred mission, consider this a sacred commission. And to close, let's set the tone for this session today about peace, peacemaking, with the words of Ervin Laszlo in the opening session. He said, "Something new is emerging." I said that really funny with my Western drawl there. I'm going to start over. Something new is emerging, and it starts within each one of us. Thank you, Ben.
Something new is emerging indeed. Julie, absolutely beautiful. Thank you for doing this at the top of every session. It really helps keep that golden thread and all the beauty and the wonder and the wisdom that has been shared in those 3 sessions we carry with us forward into today. And with my co-host today, not doctor, maybe he's honorary doctorate coming, John, perhaps, is John Raymer from the Compassion Games and Sign Network and One World. And brother, this has just been amazing so far. Session 4, I know we're really excited about getting into it, but there's just something around the timing of this symposium and this idea of awakening to humanity's sacred mission, which has resonated so strongly across the field. John, tell us a little bit about how you're feeling as we get into today.
Well, this symposium is right in the middle of the MLK 40 Days of Peace. So this is no accident, I guess, because Brother Phil is the chairman of the Compassion Games. And Pato and Antoinette, and Pato's music in particular, not only for years have we been supporting each other and stand up for justice, which is what Antoinette's been up to, but Pato's the person I go to when I say, we want to make people aware of the genius of Dr. King. And he went and wrote that song, and then we were there for his birthday this year. So and Phil and David got together during this. So we had a session during the MLK Weekend of Service that's brought the genius of Peace on Earth by 2030 as a social change game together with Brother Phil and the coming together of the tribes. I mean, this is a moment to really emerge something amazing that actually can bring peace to the earth right now. You said before, it's probably the most important. I wouldn't say probably. I'd say, oh my God, the state of the world. We are escalating war. And what Patricia said to me when we talked about Dr. King, she reframed his work on nonviolence into peacemaking. So that's what we're here to do. Let's name it. Let's bring forth peace on earth now. So grateful to everyone's presence.
Fantastic, John. Let's get into it. Thank you so much, brother, for pulling this together. And you mentioned Chief Phil, who's our first speaker today. And I think by now, Chief Phil Lane Jr. perhaps doesn't need any introduction. But let me just say, Hereditary Chief Phil Lane Jr. is an enrolled member of the Ihanktawan, Dakota, and Chickasaw nations as an internationally recognized leader in human, community, and economic development. He's been born at the Haskell Indian School in Lawrence, Kansas in 1944, where his mother and father met and attended school. During the last almost 50 years, Chief Lane has worked with Indigenous peoples from North, Central, and South America, Micronesia, Southeast Asia, India, Hawaii, and Africa. Served 16 years as Associate Professor at the Faculty of Education at the University of Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. And Chief Phil, it's just an honor to have you with us on this session on peacemaking. As we begin today, we welcome you to the symposium.
Well, I thank you, my beloved brother, for all the incredible work that you do and all those who are going to be sharing today. I saw Luisah, Sister Luisah, who I hadn't seen for years when we were focused on the same thing in the 80s and 90s. And others, Julie and all great work she's doing with the listing field, and so many, Pato and Antoinette, and I could just go on down the line. Audrey, the work she's done with the movement of the Parliament of World Religions. I mean, the whole work with the Kojis and the work of all the relatives here. So I just want to say, and I'm really thankful to be here. And when David and I got together, wow, what a time that was to share and find out how the universe is inspiring all of us as a human family, as a world family, to arise and to bring about peace. Over the last 500 years, across the Americas, there have been prophecies that promise this very day we live in. One of the best known of those is the prophecy of the reign of the condor and eagle, which over 500 years ago foretold that a great spiritual wintertime was coming. But I want to reframe this last 500 years. Our loving, kind, compassionate, ever-forgiving Creator does not punish us. And we have to reframe these last 500 years. It's not been a punishment, it's been a preparation, a spiritual preparation for unifying our human family in respect and honor of all life. And so we will be initiating this movement, and of course, inviting all those other relatives of their movements to join us. Because when I first went to Bolivia in 1971 and first heard of the prophecy of the reading of the condor and eagle, we began a movement there. And the movement promised that since the union of the condor and the eagle had occurred, the next step was the union of the indigenous people of the Americas, which occurred on March 21st, 2023 in Palenque, Chiapas, Mexico. At that point, where council was elected, which has been meeting every month. And so now the prophecy promised that with this unification of indigenous people across the Americas, that this would also impact and merge into a movement to unify our entire human family and end war and begin peace on earth. So we're initiating a global peace movement with indigenous-led and ally-led, allies, indigenous people together in the Americas, here in the Americas, beginning here, because we have to begin right at home, right here. We have no business going around telling other people how to be peaceful and loving and kind until we can do it our own selves. And the cultural, spiritual mycelium across the Americas that indigenous people now share after 500 years of a common history in our common spiritual perspectives of the four directions, Father Sky, Mother Earth, which you'll find practice all across the Americas. We have now the voices of 80 million indigenous people that are beginning to be represented by representatives, young people, elders, community members from indigenous communities across the Americas who will be meeting in Palenque for the second gathering to come together and initiate a strategy that unites all of us to address key issues we have here in the Americas. For instance, like immigration, which needs to be solved not at the border, it needs to be solved in the very countries in which people are, the majority, by the way, are indigenous people because they have no food to eat, and so forth. So that's what I wanted to share that much. We're doing that. We want to invite everybody to join us. And John, there's just a short video, I think it's 2 minutes long, to close this. Because I know there's so many exciting things to be shared. And we have just a little thing here just to get things going, and then we'll get a chance to visit in the room afterwards. So John, if you could put that up, I'd appreciate it.
Where's the video, Phil? I hadn't.
Send it to you. That's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'll go get it.
I said no. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. That's good. I'm gonna put the our GoFundMe thing in the thing that also has the video in it. And that's really what I want to say. It's time to come together and fully emerge into our full spiritual adulthood when we recognize that each of us is a sovereignty, ancient and perishable and everlasting. And when we see another human being, no longer will we see before us the color of their skin, their gender, what we'll see before us, how big their nose is, whatever on the earth.
I got it. If it's 2 minutes, let's do it. Here we go. All right. Fabulous.
Mitakiapi, my very, very beloved members of our human family, we'd like to warmly invite you to support the union of the condor, hummingbird, quetzal, and eagle as we meet for the second time, March 13th through the 22nd, to come together and initiate with allies a global peace movement beginning here in the Americas as prophesied. We thank you so much for any support that you can give to our gatherings so we can bring together our indigenous relatives from across the Americas and coming together and understanding we are one human family. The time for our unity in the end of war has come. Everything in this universe is connected to everything else instantaneously. Spirit connects everything. So what we're doing right here is impacting the entire universe. Hallelujah chante washtelo, shukmano hemedo, chinapasabu hemedo, hallelujah chante washte. Aho. 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 Thank you.
Magnificent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chief Phil Lane. And seeing that video and the incredible work you're doing, Chief Phil, to bring so many groups together, Indigenous, non-Indigenous, everybody welcome to this Indigenous-led peace movement that you are serving, and all the communities there that you've brought together through Four Worlds Institute. Thank you for sharing that amazing vision, inspiring, and what a beautiful way to really begin the Visionary Voices session for this peacemaking session of the symposium. You can feel it, the awakening to humanity's sacred mission. It's rising up everywhere at the same time. And I think we're off to a very beautiful beginning, thanks to you, Chief Phil Lane Jr. Our next speaker, an eminent leader at the global level as well, Audrey E. Kitagawa, JD, is president, founder of the International Academy for Multicultural Cooperation. It's an amazing organization doing extraordinary work in so many different spaces around the world. Audrey is president of the Light of Awareness International Spiritual Family, chair of the Anti-Racism Initiative and the Gender Equity Working Group of the G20 Interfaith Forum, and former advisor to the Officer of the Special Representative of the Secretary General for Children and Armed Conflict at the UN. Audrey is a UN representative for the URI, a board member of Global Security Institute, and a board member of the International Center for Religion and Democracy. She's been listed in Who's Who of American Law, Who's Who of American Women, Who's Who in America, Who's Who in the World. Wow. And prominent people of Hawaii. She was installed into the royal family of Aliamanti, Ghana, as the Nekosho Hema, Queen Mother of Development, where a school she helped to build, the Nana Ode Anya Kobe Junior Secondary School, is named after her. Oh my gosh. What an incredible life of service you are living as an example for all. Welcome, Audrey Kitagawa, to Peacemaking at the Symposium.
Thank you so much, Ben. And aloha nui loa from Honolulu, Hawaii. And I would like to express my deepest appreciation to Unity Earth and its partner organizations for this invitation to participate in this global event. It is traditional in Hawaii that all auspicious events begin with a sacred oli or blessing. And this chant welcomes the coming of love, and it sets the tone of my presentation today. It is a fitting blessing to start this session on peacemaking, undergirded by the foundation of love in this global call of awakening to humanity's sacred mission. Can we please play this chant?
Una I gala me kali hua he halale hua no yanaka no we o ka no ia he ano ine heli ane ho yo kahiki mai hiki mai no go hiki puno me ke aloha 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 aloha.
Able to hear the entirety of the chant. However, the last word, aloha, is the important word that was captured. Beautiful Hawaii, land of the indigenous Hawaiian people who understood the sacred relationality of all people with each other and Mother Earth. So I'm hearing an echo now. Is there a way that we can cut this echo? Thank you so much. In every aspect of the manifestation of life is a divine spirit that we honor as a source of life and is in all of the myriad forms of life. I've been asked to share what my vision of humanity's sacred mission is. And this vision is also every individual's sacred mission, which, when individually and collectively expressed, is the awakening of the reality of who we are as sacred spiritual beings imbued with the gift of immortal eternal life, who have been brought together to actualize the living reality of the divine in the seemingly ordinariness of daily life through every loving thought, speech, and action. For God is love. On the global stage, there are over 69 armed conflicts taking place in the world, and war and conflict playing out in the global landscape are a projection of the collective consciousness of the individuals within a society. So creating peace is an individual responsibility, as what we do and how we think and how we speak all contribute to creating a peaceful inner and outer world. As global citizens, we must work on ourselves first. And as we become peaceful individually, then collectively as a society, we will manifest a peaceful world on the outside. The preamble to the UNESCO Constitution says, as war begins in the minds of men, it is in the minds of men that the defenses of peace must be constructed. The journey of the development of the peacemaker, which is a role which we each have responsibility to undertake, begins within the heart of the individual. And the heart is the repository of love, that we should seek to grow more deeply in the ways of compassion, kindness, and caring for each other. And the shaping of the heart begins its journey in the home. So each family is a building block of society, and parents are responsible for raising their children with good values so they can develop a sound moral and ethical compass that will stand them in good stead as they move out into the world. Parents are the role models for their children, so they are at all times teaching children by example. A value of great importance to embrace is peacemaking is gratitude. For when gratitude and appreciation are present, there can be little room for resentment and ill will. If we remember that we have not come to our place in the world without a lot of helping hands along the way, the parents who fed, clothed, and provided shelter to us, the caring friends, sibling, teacher, or even stranger who gave us solace in our time of distress with a kind word, a cheerful greeting, or lending a helping hand when help was needed. Every moment that we live are opportunities provided to us to put peacemaking in action. Where we are is the holy ground, and we must be able to find peace, live peace, and make peace here and now. Another important value to embrace is nonviolence. There are many ways that people are violent within themselves and to themselves and undertake a lot of self-harm with feelings of not being good enough, of having a very damaged self-image, and having lots of negative self-talk in which degrading language is used against one's own self. What this speaks to is the personal responsibility we each must take for the development of our inner life and the building of the foundations of our character that is based upon those sound values of integrity, truthfulness, courage, and growing our hearts of love, compassion, and kindness. Since I am in Hawaii, I wanted to share about the peacemaking efforts that are being undertaken here that speaks to an inspiring and hopeful future. Hawaii is a diverse, multiracial, multireligious, multicultural microcosm of the wider United States and the world that developed through the large and increasing immigrant populations. In 1820, the missionaries brought Christianity to Hawaii. The Chinese brought Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism. The Japanese brought their own Buddhist traditions and Shintoism. The Portuguese and Filipinos brought Catholicism. Religions such as Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, and Baha'i also have footholds in the community. I also wanted to recognize our Asian friends who we acknowledge today as the beginning of the Lunar New Year, which is a year of the dragon. And undergirding these diverse faiths is the Hawaiian peacemaking tradition of ho'oponopono, or problem resolution, a process to set things right with each other and with the Almighty. There is discussion, repentance, restitution, and forgiveness, and always with a prayer to set right what is wrong. As stated in the handout from the Hawaii Church of Hawaii, there is this love for one another that must be given. And when love is given, love should be returned. And that unity is a precious possession. So harmony and peace within the community are important to maintain for the well-being of everyone. The Hawaii Interfaith Ohana is unfolding important work to bring these diverse faiths and peoples together for peace. And we just had a convening on the island of Kauai a couple of days ago. So stay tuned to hear more about their work, as Hawaii, where East meets West, is the important geopolitical focal point in the entire Pacific region. The call to action is to effect change, and we must begin now. Each person can start with 3 powerful practices that can transform your lives and inspire others. 1, develop a disciplined practice of gratitude. 2, perform selfless service. 3, practice nonviolence. Practicing this important value towards ourselves and others is necessary to cultivate a consciousness of peace. And I would like to end with a prayer. Source of life and love, we pray for peace in the world. We seek peace in our hearts, a peace that transcends all understanding, that heals all wounds, that reconciles all conflicts. Grant us the wisdom to seek peace, to pursue dialogue, to embrace diversity, to respect dignity, and to uphold justice. May we be blessed with peace, a peace that is a gift and a responsibility, that is a promise and a challenge, that is a hope and a reality. Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you for letting me share.
Oh, blessings, Audrey. Gratitude, service, and self-reflection. Thank you for bringing it down to such basic things for us. And I love how you're talking about peace and peacemaking and bringing it back down to our own inner voice and the stories we tell ourselves and the things we tell. That was a beautiful presentation. Again, we need to go back and watch that over and over again to get all of the gifts and all of the gems that you've given us today. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you for being with us and for all the blessings that you give to this community around the world. The International Academy of Multicultural Cooperation is doing great, great things in the world. Thank you, Audrey Kitagawa.
Ben, what I loved is that the role of the peacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
And how we can define that. That's why what David's up to and what Phil's up to and what we're all up to being those peacemakers at this time. Thank you, Audrey.
Amazing. We are richly blessed in this global family. There is a very strong current of Indigenous wisdom running through today in this whole symposium, and our next speakers are going to continue to build upon that as they presence this message from the Kogi. Now, Jyoti and Luisah, do you want us to play the video and then introduce you, or would you like me to introduce you now?
Maybe you introduce us now, because then I can share how the video came to be.
Wonderful, Jyoti. Thank you so much. Jyoti Ma is an internationally renowned spiritual teacher who has cultivated projects that demonstrate ways of life that honor the earth and all peoples. As the grandmother vision keeper of the Center of Sacred Studies, she co-founded Kayumari with spiritual communities both in America and Europe. Other projects she helped to convene are the International Council of 13 Indigenous Grandmothers and the Unity Concert. She is the founder of The Fountain. Luisah Teish is a teacher, dancer, storyteller, and high priestess. She's also an author, most notably of Jambalaya, the Natural Woman's Book of Personal Charms and Practical Rituals. Born in New Orleans, Louisiana, her father was an African Methodist Episcopal and her mother was a Catholic of Haitian, French, and Choctaw heritage. Yeye Teish is an Ayanifa excuse me, my pronunciation, is an Ayanif and Oshkin.
Inayifa.
Inayifa, an Oshun chief in Yoruba tradition. Yaya Teish is one of the most well-known Yoruba priestesses worldwide who is celebrated internationally in goddess circles as a writer and ritual maker. She quite literally a legendary woman of great character and exceeding positive impact for this generation and all time. Welcome, Luisah. Welcome, Jyoti Ma, to this session.
Well, thank you, Ben, and thank you, John, for the invitation to bring us here today with you to sit at such an elaborate table of visionaries and leaders. I'm humbled by that. So I just want to say thank you to also having this thought that we could sit around this table with people around the planet and really begin to dream in the sacred mission the earth is asking us to walk with and to help serve. With that, I want to just say that, Chief Phil mentioned the Eagle Condor prophecy. So part of what I want to share with you has to do with that prophecy. For the 4 original people of Colombia carried that prophecy, and I was with the Kogi down in 2013 when they opened up the next layer of that story, and they said that we were getting ready to enter 13 years of very deep cleansing. That was in 2013. They said the ending would fall into the beginning in 2026, so we're very close to that now, and if you look back at these 13 years, you can see how it has increased in its deep cleansing process as it has marched us forward. And so I think it is what they said also was that it was important to pay attention to the ending as it fell down, so we stayed informed, but to stay focused on that which is breaking through and into the new dawn. And now in this last 2 years, they have brought a message that is about this last 2 years of the cleansing. And it came about because we were on our way to Greenland and Iceland, where they were going to open first of the 4 pillars, which is part of a healing process the Mother has already given us to move and to be in service with. They would move across Greenland. They would move across Iceland. They would attend the Arctic Assembly, where they would be invited by the Secretary of the Environment to bring a message to Dubai for COP28. They would move there and stay in the sacred sites. They would offer prayers. They would bring the balance that those spirits of those sites would ask for. At the very last, they ended up at the volcano, and they told everyone that was there with us that there would be great movement in this volcano, and very soon, for the Mother was starting to march and move herself. They left 2 days later. There were thousands of earthquakes that occurred there around this volcano. And as you know, the volcano went off and is still flowing. And there are many other earth changes that will occur. As they got back home, they began to go into their own consultation and to close what they had started as they started this march. They came then with a message that the Great Mother herself had prepared, for she said the maladies that she's carrying had gotten to be too strong, and that she must protect the creation of her making. And she is in her making moment. And so if we can stand up with her, if we can focus just on her, and we can all carry what she's already prepared for us to carry, we will make it through that keyhole and into the new dawn, for we are the new dawn, and it is marching. So that's what I know and how this video got prepared. We prepared it. They wanted it first to go to COP28, which it did, and then they wanted it to fly around the world and to touch everyone, and it has done that. It's had over 850,000 views, and it's still growing and counting. So with that, I'd like to share with you this video. May you find your own inspiration in it, for each one of us has what we need. And we need to say it out loudly and strongly right now, so that oneness will be felt and we can march with her in a strong way as she opens the door of the new dawn.
I am the mother. I am in the heart of the universe. Throughout all of time, I have never suffered from such heat or exhaustion. I have endured for the last 1,000 years. Since that time, my natural connection points, my rivers, reservoirs, and internal waterways across all continents have been obstructed and are full of pollution. I cannot cleanse or recuperate. In December of 2023, I will start to rise and move and turn, sending this message out to all my children around the world. The storms, the earthquakes, the hurricanes, and the rise of the ocean will come. If the governments, the sultans, the princes, presidents, and kings of the world do not listen and act, in 2 years' time, only 30% of the earth will remain. I am the mother. I have always endured despite arrows being put in my eyes and in my body. I am not seeking to defend myself. I remain calm. But now I must recuperate. There are 2 ways for me to heal. The first, I could take the law of nature into my own hands. This way I will go in search of my medicine so I can cure my body, heal my energies, and all that I'm suffering from. There will be great changes upon the earth. You will feel me recovering. You will feel me moving. I will not do this to cause harm to you. It will mean I am recuperating my body. Or the second way. All my children will make the healing happen for me, so I will not need to do it myself. I will put my older children in charge of my recovery. They will go and search for my medicines, for my cure, so I can be healed and recuperate with their help. You, my children, must all be united and deliver what is needed for your older brothers so they can do the healing where I have been injured by you, my younger ones. Each one of the rulers of the world, of the governments of the world, must say, "Yes, Mother, I will stand with you. I will give my help to where you have been injured." I, your mother, have given you everything. When these changes start to happen, we will see whether you listen and act, or whether I myself will have to do what I must to recover the balance on Earth. If in just 6 months from now, by June 2024, you say, "Yes, we will provide what is needed," then my oldest children will be able to help cure my body. If this message is ignored, I will take the law of nature into my own hands, 1.5 years from that date. This is the message that the Mother has given, she who is in the heart of the world.
want to give a big thank you and appreciation to the Kagaba Nation, to the Kogi that have received this message and have brought it to us, and the strength and the power with which they're sharing it with us all. And they will be sending more messages. They have a healing process. They want us to return sacred territory back into the caring hands of the original peoples. They want these pillars that are activated. They've got staffs that are moving. And each and every one here is a part of that healing process. And we've heard from so many of our original people, because it's like a beehive that went boom and really lit up so strongly, because they all are receiving similar message. And that's what my great sister, Grandmother Luisah, is here to share with us more about. So thank you, Luisah.
I begin by saying Alafia, which is a Yoruba greeting wherein I am asking that we have good health and be at peace with our neighbors. This is always a important greeting, but at this time it is very, very important. As an Iyanifa in the Yoruba tradition, every year we perform divination in both hemispheres, both in Africa and in the Americas, to ask the ancestors and the Orishas how we should conduct ourselves within everything that is going on. And there are a few messages that have come through very, very clearly. On the top of it is a message from the air spirits to stop war. Stop war. The air is polluted with drones and missiles and other instruments of war, and this will not fare well for us as human beings. And to that end, I have a ritual coming up February 18th that is designed to diminish the energy of war. Yemonja, the great water mother, is very, very concerned about the conditions of the children of the world. Our children are dying of starvation, disease, and war, and this is akin to making ourselves the sixth extinction. If we do not take care of the children, there will be no us in the future. It was said very, very clearly that he wears a crown, but with the mind of a child. And this is talking about our politicians who think that they run the world. So we have to really, really continue to try to grow them so that their minds match their crowns, okay? The good news is that the trees and the plants are meeting underground to discuss the problems of humans. They know that we are in trouble, and they're talking among themselves about how they can help us out. So we need to have gardens. We need to turn to the herbs. We need to spend time under the trees, because that is where our help is coming from. And most importantly, there is the issue of repairing our relationships to each other and to the planet herself. It is very interesting to me that the timeline that the Koji have laid out is very similar to what the elders in Africa and in the diaspora are saying. And I do believe that when the truth is being told, all oracles agree. So the good news is that all hope is not lost yet, and that the plants are the ones who are helping us at this time.
Thank you. And with that, Ben, we'll pass it back to you. And just remind everyone, just close your eyes, see the earth healed. See the original people with the support that's necessary behind each and every line that goes back to that original time. For we truly are all returning to an original time where all life is sacred. And so it is, and so it shall be. Thank you.
I say.
Well, so profound. Thank you, Luisah. Thank you, Jyoti Ma. Thank you for the powerful, powerful blessings and presence today as we reflect on the message from the Kogi and this crucial, critical time. We really appreciate you being with us. Thank you for giving us your time, shining your light and love here today. Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you, Jyoti Ma. Blessings on you. We know you're recovering from a little illness, so rest up and I hope you feel better much, very, very soon.
Thank you.
We are moving now to another legendary, lifelong peacemaker, David Gershon, global visionary and transformative change leader over the past 40 years, has developed highly effective and proven evolutionary acceleration strategies. Boy, don't we need them right now. These strategies are embedded in a planetary game for creating peace on Earth by 2030. He directs Empowerment Institute's Center for Reinventing the Planet, which empowers change agents from around the world to design and implement second-order change social innovations. He has lectured at Harvard, MIT, and Johns Hopkins, and served as an advisor to the White House and the United Nations on empowerment and second-order change. Brother David, it's wonderful to have you with us. Thank you for being here at the symposium on this day dedicated to change making. Peacemaking.
Thank you, Ben. And thank you for the invitation. And John, thank you for the invitation. And bless you all for the beautiful work you're doing, who have spoken so far, and to continue after I speak, to offer their beautiful visions. So I have taken the notion of sacred mission to heart. And I want to speak to that notion. So for me, my sacred mission is to create peace on earth. It is a clear signal and resonant signal that I have received 47 years ago. On August 11th, 1976, we completed a 9,000-mile bicentennial torch relay across all 50 states of America to celebrate the spiritual values upon which this country was founded, which looks very different than how it has shown up now. We wanted to rekindle them. And as we extinguished that torch in downtown Manhattan at Federal Hall, the site of George Washington's inauguration, I received the guidance to bring a torch of peace around the world to create peace on earth. And I have been living this sacred mission ever since. But this is more than my sacred mission. Peace on earth is the sacred mission of humanity. And I'm part of a long lineage of people who have proclaimed and peoples the idea of peace on earth, from Jesus of Nazareth, which has grown stronger ever since and is celebrated every Christmas, to the Native American Hopis, humanity's dream keepers for peace, to John Lennon through his global anthem, Imagine. It is the one idea held universally in the hearts of all humanity. Victor Hugo said, "There's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come." And Plato stated that ideas rule the world. In my judgment, peace on earth is the most powerful idea in the world because of its universal aspiration held in the heart of every human being, either consciously or unconsciously. As this idea enters a person's heart, it lifts them to a higher frequency. And now the idea of peace on earth has a due date by 2030. This is showing up in many different places and expressions, including my beloved brothers and sisters on this call who have partnered with me and who've been moving forward this notion in many different ways. Chief Phil, John, Tezikiah, Julie, Antoinette, Pato, and Ben. Thank you for your partnership. Rotary International is creating peace on earth zones and have committed to this as part of their mission. African Union is helping further and model the Ubuntu peace strategy that is being championed by Pato and Antoinette and over 50 global partners. So as people and organizations in different parts of the world express their unique way of moving peace on earth by 2030 into the world, we are finding ourselves with a unifying vision for humanity, a common cause. Indeed, peace on earth is an idea whose time has come. So let me share a little bit about this collective journey of peace on earth that I have been holding and stewarding and implementing over these years. In 1986, at the height of the Cold War, we passed the torch of peace around the world. It was called the First Earth Run. And in partnership with the United Nations Children's Fund, or UNICEF, we engaged 1 billion people through the media and 25 million people on the ground in 45 heads of state in 62 countries. And something remarkable happened, something that I still find inspiring and awesome for humanity and for me as a keeper of the flame. Wherever the torch of peace went, all wars stopped. All wars stopped, and the world was united as one. We saw the readiness, if provided with the right opportunity, for humanity to show up in a totally different way. Thousands of groups around the world came together cooperatively to achieve this audacious goal. And we had very limited communication. There was no internet. There wasn't even fax machines and very few social networks. But because this is the heart of humanity's sacred mission, people were ready, they showed up, and this happened. And we're even more ready now. Not for a 3-month experience, but for a 7-year plan to actually create peace on earth. Our mantra is John Lennon's Imagine song, which has become the global anthem. He sings, imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one. So my call to action today is to invite more dreamers, more people willing to hold this intention, willing to put a stake in the ground and give it a date and a path. This venture that we are now embarked upon is based on the 7 strategies that ignited the world, come together in common cause, and bring a torch of peace around the world. It's evolved into what we call the peace game, which John has alluded to, which combined with our knowledge of second order change that we've cultivated over the last 4 decades, brings the synergies together to create something, to create the impossible becoming possible. Communication connectivity is there. The yearning is there. The deconstruction is there, forcing us to construct a new possibility. If not now, when? If not us, who? So we've embarked on this journey. It goes through the peace game and the 7 peace actions. It evolves into what we call peace on earth zones that reweave the social fabric of a community, transforming that which separates us into that which brings us together, and learning how to cooperate for the common good. How do we heal the polarization? This is one of the ways. And our vision is community by community, year by year, over the 2020s, we will witness the dawning of peace on earth and ushering in of the golden age. Chief Phil, I'm so delighted that you are bringing the indigenous leadership into play. I look forward to figuring out the best ways for us to be the beneficiaries, as was stated in the beautiful video of our older brothers and sisters. So we've piloted this peace game over 5 years. 35,000 peace actions have been taken that have impacted almost 9 million people in 15 countries. And I just will close by sharing a little bit of what we've learned. The peace game is built around 7 strategies: empowerment, oneness, unity, cooperation, abundance, love, and faith. The themes of World Unity Week last year. These are transformational practices that, when collectively applied, evolve a person into an emanation of peace and everything around them into manifestations of peace. They're practices, which means that they deepen as people invest more time and make them part of their life. The peace game is divided into 4 parts that represent the different expressions of how peacemaking and peace is expressed on planet Earth right now. Action 1 on empowerment focuses on building the capacity of the peacemaker, building their agency. Actions 2 to 4 on oneness, unity, and cooperation, those are the peace building actions. This is how peace building actually works as people become skillful in oneness, unity, and cooperation. Actions 5 and 6 on abundance and love focus on field building, spiritual field building, and pragmatic field building, empowering the different peacemaking groups. And action 7 on faith is really focused on the movement building, being able to grow this movement and being able to really up-level one's faith in the possibility of peace on earth and our fellow human beings showing up in a new way. So at its essence, the peace game is an empowerment platform enabling people to envision and create a life of peace for themselves and influence those in their world to do the same. Playing the peace game empowers, enlightens, and transforms those players and communities who wholeheartedly engage with it. There's more that I can say, but let me just close with a specific call to action. We are currently playing a game online with 154 people across many countries around the world. It started January 17th. This completes on March 13th. People are playing the game each Wednesday, 12 to 2, in teams of 3. We call them the peace teams. There are 9 meetings. We have 8 peace and earth zones that are in play across the game right now. It's played on a peace game app. And our next peace game starts May 15th and it goes through July 13th. And I'll put it in the chat, a link to that, and also when we have our next information meeting. So let me just close by saying we are capable of doing so much more than we've ever imagined. And Peace on Earth by 2030, that's held by so many of us on this call and so many others, is an idea that has tremendous power. So we can do this. We do not need Mother Earth, Blessed Gaia, to have to do it herself. We can do this. And I invite everyone who feels called to join and play with us. Blessings.
Wow. That is so good, David. Oh my gosh. We're witnessing history in the making here. All of us together. You know, Ben, the thought is just, it's in all dimensions. It's strategic, it's tactical, it's operational. It needs to happen at all levels. Here you got a real structure, a vision, indigenous inspiration and leadership. We got Women's Day coming up on March 8th. We have a call to stand with the mother. You know, the power of music and youth. I mean, we're seeing the ways we actually can engage. And the connections, not just with the indigenous world, but with Africa and the work that Pato and Antoinette are doing. I mean, gosh, and Audrey, man, I mean, this was worth getting up for. This gives me so much hope. We can do this. And David, just you're so organized and so thoughtful. We could just learn from each other. Oh my gosh. I just had to speak. I'm just so moved by this.
Thank you, John.
We got this.
Yes, it's amazing. Thank you, John. Thank you, David. Thank you for being with us and sharing the extraordinary history, heritage, and future of all of the work that you're doing. And Peace on Earth by 2030. Yes, we've had the pleasure and honor of having the torch that was part of the first Earth Run from 1986 with us in sacred events in Africa and in Ethiopia and North America and different parts of the world as we built up this collective journey. And yes, we're partners in this Peace on Earth by 2030. So bless you, David. And on we go. We're gathering steam. Change makers, peace builders, peacemakers. We're all here. And our next two speakers continue the incredible caliber of global leaders that are standing up, standing together right now for peace. And we are growing stronger, more connected, more organized every time we come together. Pato Banton, a beloved brother and friend to so many, is a Grammy-nominated reggae legend that has recorded and toured the world with the English Beat, Steel Pulse, UB40, and Sting, to name just a few. Although his 4-decade career has also earned him a place in the British Music Hall of Fame and a BBC Lifetime Achievement Award for his tireless community work to reduce gun crime, his journey has increasingly transcended the music business into arenas of youth outreach, teaching in schools and colleges, writing new curriculum for children with learning disabilities, and global spiritual ministry, which is a profound part of Pato's gifts to the world is his global spiritual ministry. Now based in Southern California, although Pato today joins us from the UK where it's past midnight. So thank you, brother, for being up with this at this hour. He continues to record and tour the world extensively, conveying a positive and very spiritual message while simultaneously serving as teacher, counselor, mentor, and minister of the Verb to his fans, friends, and spiritual family. Brother, it's a joy to have you with us. And of course, joined by Antoinette Rootsdawtah Hall, a world-renowned keyboardist in the reggae industry. And in 2019, the United Religions Initiative Africa appointed the renowned reggae musicians Pato and Antoinette as goodwill ambassadors of the Golden Rule. Antoinette has got a rich heritage of her own in global outreach ministry, which includes the Urantia Movement, U-Day Festival, Parliament of the World's Religions, OneGod.com, Harvard Divinity School, and most recently, a presentation for the Convergence Gathering at the United Nations in New York. Antoinette's spiritual communities include Minister Pato Banton, Urantia Aspirations, Minister for Christ Michael, Daughter of the Divine Mother, Unity Earth, URI Multi-Region, and Coexist. She's also the founder and head of Stand Up for Justice and is on fire with serving across the world. Thank you, Pato. Thank you, Antoinette, for being with us for this subject today of peacemaking.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much. I believe that we were showing a video to start. Is that correct, Antoinette?
That's correct.
All right, so let's show the video and then
to me,
we can
Ubuntu
share
is
our
our
thoughts.
ethos. Okay, if I were to tell the world about Ubuntu, I would say we rise by lifting others.
Can you rewind? With Ubuntu, you reach out to those that have lost hope, but through Ubuntu, they are able to move on. They are encouraged. They are told there is much that we can achieve when we are there for each other.
Ubuntu in my community means humanity, where we share whatever we have, whether little or much. We are all connected by that spirit, that whatever I have, it is mine, yes, but I'm kind of propelled to help the other people to raise up to where I am.
Ubuntu is about love. It's about loving your neighbor, not in a fluffy way, but in a sense that what you feel, they feel. and that everybody has a story that matters, and that together we can bring healing to each other.
Let the hungry be fed, the naked clothed, the sick be nourished, the elders protected, and the infants cared for. So this is all a basic need of any community, and Ubuntu matches that immediately. If we can help each other achieve these things.
I believe that I do exist because of other people. There's nothing that I wouldn't be here or be able to travel or be able to continue my music or anything else if it hadn't been for other people. And then now that I see how this philosophy actually works in all these organizations, I'm ready to take it back home and starting it in my own community, you know, with our own projects. Wake up. You're gonna sit there and see Africa is on the rise and is awakening.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Antoinette. So I just wanted to say a few words about the Ubuntu project. We have been involved in this project now for about 2 years, working on the documentary. We have been to 20 cities in 10 African countries, filming the documentary, and also working with community organizations and building working relationships across the continent of Africa. Since the release of the documentary in January, actually 4 weeks ago, the Ubuntu documentary has already won 9 awards. Antoinette has also won a Music Score Award for her musical contribution to the documentary, which she filmed in the God frequency. What frequency was that, Antoinette?
The frequency 432.
So we changed the frequency of the music to 432 to the heart frequency, to the God frequency, and rewrote the entire documentary music score, all done by Antoinette, and it's come out very beautiful. So currently we are working on a revisit to Africa to visit all 20 organizations. Antoinette will be spending a month in South Africa, building relationships with the Desmond Tutu Foundation, the Nelson Mandela Foundation, the Ubuntu Film Festival group, and other organizations across South Africa. Antoinette will be doing that groundwork for a month, while I will be going across the 10 African countries to show all participants in the movie, the documentary, as well as building new bridges with other organizations that want to be involved in this emerging Ubuntu family. So it's a big project, but it's coming together very nicely. And then after the Africa tour in March and April, we will be doing a world tour across America, Canada, Europe, and hopefully Australia as well, to come and show the movie to everyone. We've already done film screenings in Hawaii, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas. Outside of the Ubuntu project, which Antoinette will continue to share about, I just wanted to share something that I hadn't initially planned to share. But upon listening to everybody and upon listening to David, I wanted to just share 7 points regarding peace and the role that we now have to play in bringing the destiny of humanity closer to the goal. And here they are, and I'll make this as quick as possible, Antoinette. The first one is And these are taken from the Urantia book. The first one says, religious revelation is essential to the realization of brotherhood on this planet. And in religious revelation, they're basically saying that we need help from our celestial family. Mankind cannot do this alone. We need help, whether it's from our mother spirit, who we are all becoming more and more aware of now, and from Melchizedek and the other celestial beings who have been working on this planet for centuries. We need to reach out to our celestial family in assistance. Number two, we understand that through the gospel of the good news that we're all God's children, we have a pathway to spiritual brotherhood. But for social brotherhood, we have to look at the following things. Number one is social fraternity, multiplication of international and interracial social contacts, fraternal associations through travel, commerce, competitive play, which David was talking about, development of a common language worldwide, which we are now seeing through the internet and social media, multiplication of multilinguists, the racial and national interchange of students, teachers, industrialists, and religious philosophers. Number two, and I'm going to make the other one short, intellectual cross-fertilization. Number three, ethical awakening. We need to become more ethical as a world. Political wisdom. We need people in power who are wise, who are tapping into their spiritual nature, not just materialists who are gaining power and pursuing material pathways. Spiritual insight. All the people who are in this call, who are meditating and praying, this is so important, as we all have to develop personal spiritual insight, and we can only do that as individuals. And lastly, which I started with, we all have to reach out for another spiritual visitation. We need some celestials to come on the planet, hold our hands, and help us through. And, there's a lot of talk about, aliens and celestial visitors on the planet. So let's reach out to them and make this happen. I'm going to pass it to Antoinette.
Thanks. Do I have share screen privileges? All right, let me just hurry and get over here. I got 1 minute. All right, so quickly, 1 minute. This is our website, Ubuntu.
Take a couple of minutes. Take a good couple of minutes, Antoinette, as you need.
Are you sure? Okay.
You bet.
All right, well, let me just stop for real quick. Let me just say this. All right, number one, this documentary is so very, very, very important. I believe that is going to change the world for the better, just like we have stated. It is watching for the last 2 days, the things that we're talking about, the environment. We're talking about women's rights, and we're talking about women's issues. We're talking about our interconnectedness. We're talking about peace. We're talking about spirituality. We're talking about a lot of different things. This is something that Ubuntu is covering. So I'm going to just quickly share my screen. Is this it? No, that's not it. No. Oh, yeah. Let me stop here. Oh, I just lost it.
What are you trying to share?
Sorry.
Antoinette?
Yeah, I know. I have everything right here. Just because
Okay.
I had everything right here. Just here we go. Can you see it? No, I had everything. All right. Now let me just share the screen. All right. Can you see that?
Yes.
All right, this is Ubuntu. This is our website. As you can see on the spinning globe, this is all the Ubuntu type organizations. We've already added like 10 of them. So we're adding like 13 more different organizations. If you click on a dot, it will sit there and take you to one of the organizations. So this is how we have it all laid out. The different ones, Unity Earth, everybody else will be laid out on there as well too. And then if you go over to here, this is the Spirit of Ubuntu, where you can get to the website. You can contact us. If you come over here, this is where we have our Ubuntu International. And this
Facebook.
is our link tree. This is our link tree that has everything because we didn't get a chance to go over everything. So we have the website, we have Pato's website, we have Identia.us, which is about sustainability, about the land, the environment. We have Pato's YouTube, we have my Instagram, we have the music, and down here we have Divine Mother's Love, which is also part of all of this together with the Kogi message and everything else that we got going on. So, all right. Am I on time? Sorry.
Yes, you're on time.
Wow, that's amazing. You two are amazing. Everything that you're up to, so many different projects, so many different service initiatives right around the world, from there in California to Africa. The Spirit of Ubuntu movie, congratulations on the reception it's getting, Antoinette and Pato, and to Gard Jameson and to the directors and everybody who's put that together. It's such a labor of love and a passion project, and something, as you say, Antoinette and Pato, bringing that spirit rising out of Africa around the world, that interconnectedness. It's so resonant with the whole movement, with good of the whole, with the everything, the interconnected whole that we are, and so beautiful that to see it coming out of Africa through your storytelling and through the people that you are highlighting and spotlighting through that film. And congratulations on everything you're doing. I remember last March, a group of us had the privilege of going down to Identia, to the land there in California. It's so powerful. It's so beautiful. Your shared intention for service to this world is spilling over, and we can feel it here in this space, as in many, many, many spaces around the world. So thank you.
Can I say something about that?
Yes, please.
All right. So we just went out to the land the other day, and I kept saying about the women, I was like, from when Chief Phil Lane came and blessed the land, it was so dry. And by the time when Pookie got married on there, and when we were there for after the Hollow Movement and the convergence, and we saw that running stream of water, it was so powerful. So when we heard about this Kogi message, I kept saying this from the parliament. And when I met up with Sister Ejna and Sister Joan Henry when we were down in Mexico, I was like, listen, it is powerful when we are coming together, when we're honoring Mother Earth and we're protecting Mother Earth. So the Kogi message, some people were sitting there playing around. It was man versus Mama Nature. If you see what's happening out here in California, definitely man is losing against Mama Nature. But if you sit there and work and sustainable with the land, it can work in conjunction, because there's no reason why we have to be fighting the environment. It's like, why are we shaving off mountains and creating new different things when we actually can work with it and we could be a lot more sustainable? We went and checked the land. It is so perfect right now. The river is going, the stream is working, the buildable part that we're talking about, sustainability. So it's like all eyes. This is what we're talking about with Ubuntu. All eyes on Africa, because they know how to sit and regenerate the land. They know how to sustain. They know how to work with it. They know how to work with what you got. And then we need to bring those same principles back over here so we can sustain and stop fighting against it. And we wouldn't have all this destruction and all this damage. You know, so the wisdom is not just about what we're talking about, but we're showing you what it actually looks like. You know, so see what it looks like when we actually do come together. That is why I'm not worried, and I'm not concerned about what the things people are worried about the future. We can actually change the future 100%. Absolutely. If you actually see the work that people are doing when they actually come together. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Antoinette, for that beautiful inspiration. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, and so much positivity, so much cause for hope, so much practical wisdom that's been shared here in this symposium. Thank you for your contributions today. Pato Benton, Antoinette Rootsdawtah, you blessed us greatly. We're now going to hear a video from another extraordinary brother, Steve Farell. Steve has recorded this message because he couldn't be with us live. Many of you will know Steve Farell co-founded Humanity's Team, a nonprofit in 2003 with Neil Donald Walsh, author of the Conversations with God series, and is its executive director. He's a member of the Evolutionary Leaders Circle and contributed a chapter to their Nautilus award-winning book, Our Moment of Choice, which, by the way, we're going to be giving away some books tomorrow. So make sure you tune in for session 5 tomorrow. He lives in Boulder, Colorado with his wife, Stephanie, their 2 young adults, and their dog, Sadie. Steve from Humanity's Team. Let's hear from Steve.
I'm the executive director of Humanity's Team. I want to thank Ben and Irvin for inviting me to be part of this symposium. I'm coming to you through this message because I'm going to be out of the country during the summit. Thanks so much for inviting me to be part of this symposium. I want to talk to you about what we call in humanities team our Galileo moment. Galileo, as you'll recall, in the early 1600s was this leading scientist, physicist, and astronomer that observed that the Earth was revolving around the sun in a solar system, and it was not at all the center of the universe. Might not sound like such a big deal, but it was a very big deal. This was the time of the Roman and Spanish Inquisition, when you did not surface something going against prevailing beliefs. And so he was put under house arrest, and he was almost killed. The only reason he wasn't killed is he recanted and said, just kidding, not really true. Only problem is there were many others that had telescopes that observed the same thing, that the Earth was not the center of the universe, that the Earth was being warmed by the sun in a solar system. And so that we could see the health and well-being and the truth of where the Earth is in the universe. Now, like that time, today, we live under a similar false reality. The false reality that our separated self is the center of our universe, which is how many of us, from the time that we wake up in the morning from our pillow, see the world, as our separated self is kind of the center of everything. Even though mystics down through the ages have shared, no, the universe is deeply interconnected, interrelated, and interdependent, that in fact it's one. There's a diversity and unity, that there's a divine presence, that there's a divinity that actually encompasses the whole of the universe. And as we know, science is now affirming that this is true, right? In quantum physics in particular, there's a great deal of research coming forward that's saying there's entanglement across the universe. Two things that have no physical connection are deeply affecting each other. The Resonance Science Foundation, IONS, many organizations, many physicists have made it their life work to share this truth, that in fact there is no such thing as a separated self. We've created a false reality. So our invitation in humanities team is to see ultimate reality for what it really is, that we're a part of this deeply interconnected universe, that there's a spiritual universe, there's a universal consciousness animating all of life, and we're inseparable from it. And when we put ourselves at the center of that universe, from the time we wake up on the pillow, where we see that we're a cell in the body of this superorganism that we can call life or the divine, and we live our life from this place of service and truth, that then everything changes. That this is actually the thing that heals the root cause problem on the planet today. Just as the root cause problem was the Earth, center of the universe, today, root cause problem is that we are separated self at the center of the universe instead of a source, the divine universe, that is at the center of the universe. And where we see this, we become warmed by the love of the divine. We come in service to life around us. We're actually designed that way, is what scientists are sharing. And we create health and well-being for ourselves. We leave this place of isolation and anxiety and disempowerment that so many people are feeling today. And we enter this new world of deep connection, of love, of joy, of blessing, of beauty, right? All of these things where we have this entirely new worldview. And in a sense, it's almost like we're born again, where we see the truth of what mystics and science are sharing. So this is the important thing. Thank goodness that Galileo was the brave person he was in the early 1600s, because he changed the world. There's no one person today that can stand tall and share a truth that's going to change the whole world. Today, it's incumbent upon each of us to stand in the truth of what mystics and science shares, to move our ladder where it's leaning against this wall of false understanding of separated self, and place that ladder against this new wall with this new understanding of this universal consciousness animating all of life that we're inseparable from, and living into the health and well-being of what this is. And in doing so, we create an amazing life for ourselves. I call it like floating on a raft above the up and down world that is today's world. And when 8 to 10% of us live this way, then we create tipping point. And in tipping point, the whole world sees this false reality that we've been living into, and this new reality, this truthful reality that's blessing and beauty and grace and peace and so much more, where we're in service to life around us. So that's our call to action here in Humanities Team. It's the thing that I want to bring to this symposium, to simply live into ultimate reality, to live into the truth, to move this false belief aside that we embody a separated self. It's not true. And why take something so sacred as a life lived and live into a false reality? Now's our time to each stand up and live into the truth of this conscious reality. There's a great migration to conscious living that's going on. We're actually well into this new migration. This is the age of consciousness. This is where we elevate consciousness, this thing that Einstein shared was so important if we were going to create a new world. And it didn't happen in his day, but it can happen in this day. It is happening. And where we all live into it, it's very, I'll call it contagious. People can see and feel the blessing and beauty and grace and peace that is this conscious living thing. And again, as it becomes contagious and as it spreads, we create this whole new reality, this sustainable and flourishing world, not only for our generation, but for generations to come. All of the young people that we see in this world, that they inherit that new earth. And isn't that a life worth living? Thank you again, namaste, for inviting me to be part of your program.
You're muted, Ben. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Steve, for sharing that powerful, inspirational message. So many groups, so many networks, so many platforms right around the world that are coming together at this time. It's extraordinary. It's exhilarating. It's amazing. Sometimes it's even a little overwhelming. When you feel how much is going on. But I do want to acknowledge, just take a minute. We're going to have just thank you. And thank you, John Raymer. We're going to go over into the participants room in a moment. We've got some great engagement. The engagement sessions here as part of the symposium have been such a wonderful kind of addition to everything and innovation. But I do want to just shout out to Purpose Earth. And I want to invite everybody to share something to Purpose Earth, who really are the primary sponsor for what's put this symposium together. There were many sponsors that chipped in and put money together, including Good of the Whole, Connection Field, One World, Sign Network, Light on Light, Source of Synergy Foundation. But it was really Purpose Earth that supplied the funding to do all of the work. Irina Morrison has been doing the web, the design, those beautiful graphics, what Derek has done and Ayana has done. All of that's been funded through Purpose Earth. Now, 100% of everything we give to Purpose Earth will go to grant recipients in all around the world. And if you didn't know, Purpose Earth over the last just few years has given away almost $400,000, usually in like $5,000 to $10,000 grants, 100% going to projects in Africa, projects in the developing world, group projects. It's an extraordinary blessing. And I just want to make sure we have an opportunity for everybody to share back, even if it's whatever you can. I'm going to bring up the QR code. We're all used to using the QR codes now. So open your phone, and let's get into Purpose Earth. Becky's also putting links through the chat, and you'll be invited to give a one-off donation or a monthly donation. Again, this is not for us. This is for Purpose Earth. It goes out through the grant recipients. It goes out to projects that are beautifully, wisely selected by the Grants Council. Laura Rose, Marty K. Casey, Professor Peter Blaise Corcoran, and many others serve on that eminent council to give grants away. And there are people that have received grants, like Chief Dwayne Perry and groups all over the world that have received Purpose Earth grants. So just wanted to take a minute because it's important that we continue the flow, continue the energy rolling around the world. And as if we're enjoying this symposium, if you've got any benefit out of it, if you feel there's been any value, then I invite you please to pay it forward and send something now to Purpose Earth. $5, $50, $500, whatever you feel called to do, monthly or one-off as you wish. But 100%, as you can see, go directly towards the grant recipients and their projects. Not only do they get money and funding, they get mentorship as well from the incredible Purpose Earth family. So we'll close this in a moment. The link's in the chat. The QR code is there. Get your phone out, open the camera, and you can be taken straight to that link where you can support and put something in there. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate paying it forward. As I said, if you've received anything out of this so far, please send that back to Purpose Earth so we can continue the wheel and the cycle of this blessing. Let the golden thread continue to flourish in all sorts of beautiful ways. I want to take a moment to thank John Raymer. We haven't finished. We're going over to the session now. Participation. We're going to have a transition segment with Tez, but I do want to thank our speakers today, Chief Phil Lane, Audrey Kitagawa, Luisah and Jyoti Ma, David Gershon, Pato, Antoinette. Thank you, Dr. Julie Krull, for kicking us off, and John Raymer for the beautiful co-hosting. We're only halfway through. But Tezikiah, Gabriel, let me do an introduction for you because you're going to take us into a deep reflective segment here. And I just want to read a little bit. Do I have your bio here? Well, let me say Tez is the Executive Director of Pathways to Peace. And perhaps that for now, Tez, that's all we need to say about you and your sacred mission. Humanity's sacred mission, Pathways to Peace, is an organization upon which so many of us continue to build and weave together upon the foundation that you have laid. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for taking us into this transition for today.
Thank you, Ben. Oh my goodness, my heart is so full. So let me begin by just again inviting you to stay in your heart. There has been so much love, so much wisdom, so much sacred, and it's palpable. I hope you can feel it. I certainly can. Thank you to those of you who have brought all of that into the space, into the sacred circle. Thank you to those of you watching this that are holding that space in the broader sacred circle of the whole. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so now it's time for us to breathe together, to be able to go within our hearts to that place of silence where we can open to that sacred impulse, often called that still small voice within. And I take us back to our beloved Jude Curvin, who talked about the beginnings of our origin story as the big breath, the gentle but powerful big breath, and that we are the small breath that connects to that big breath and connects us to the whole cosmos. And so in this beautiful relationship of reciprocity, where we breathe in the whole of the universe and breathe out our breath of connection, in all of that, we know we are one. And so I'd like to I invite you to come along with me on a little meditative journey that allows us to integrate all of the wisdom that has been brought forth here, and also to explore within our own hearts the awakening or deepening of our own sacred mission for humanity. We all have one. And so let's now take a journey to that place that resides within us, in that quiet. And so let's slow our breath, breathe a little more slowly, a little more deeply, breathing in the beauty of all creation, breathing out our connection to it all. And breathe again if you need to breathe a little more slowly. If it helps you to count, you can count 5 counts on the inhale, 5 counts on the exhale. If it helps you to place your hand on your heart, you can also do that. If it helps you to call in those beautiful fiery dragons that protect and support us, you may do that. This is your journey. This belongs to you. So when we're ready, if it's comfortable, we've established a nice, comfortable pace of breathing. We can now focus on the center of the chest, the seat of the heart. That sacred place that connects us to all that is, all that was, all that is evermore. And allow our breath to come in and out of that sacred space. And with each breath, we feel our heart open a bit more. Open to the love. Open to the goodness. Open to the kindness, the harmony, the compassion that we breathe into and that surrounds us. And so we breathe for a while together, the one breath. And we experience the one heart, the heartbeat of the cosmos. Breathing and the heart beating with all life. We are one. And now, if you're ready, in the ways that you can only ask your heart to awaken or deepen your own sacred mission for humanity. See that mission. Feel it. How does it look? How does it feel? How does it breathe? And how does it emanate out, radiate out that light into our world? Now love that mission. Love it with all of your soul. Nurture it, bathe it with your love. And now, with all of that beautiful knowing of your sacred mission, of your connection to all that is, of the love and the grace that surrounds you, you can come back to this sacred time and space that we have created together. This room, this sacred space to come back to with full knowledge of who you are, remembering who you are and your sacred mission for humanity. And so it is.
I have a great trust in human nature, because human nature is nature in the human form.
We are 8 billion people living on one planet. Will we ever be a global community living in peace with each other and harmony with the earth? Or are we doomed to increasing destruction, degradation of nature, and endless antagonism towards each other? There is a critical mass around the world now that realizes it is ultimately up to us in our common humanity to answer and act on this fundamental question.
There is a mission. There is a tremendous wave surfacing. People joining together, asking, what can we do? We cannot go on as we were. We have to move forward.
While institutions fail us in this critical moment, we must look for hope in ourselves and each other, to become and to drive the change, the upshift that needs to happen now. This is your invitation to Awakening Humanity's Sacred Mission, an international symposium and call to action. This live global online event, initiated by Irvin Laszlo, represents an unprecedented cooperation of global impact networks. The symposium, featuring many of the world's leading thinkers and activists, is free to all and takes place on February 9th through 11th, 2024, across the Lunar New Year. We invite you to join us in awakening to humanity's sacred mission, together as one human family. The time has come. Register for free now, and please share widely.
People are already beginning to feel it. There is a great upshift underway today. So join it, because together we can fulfill the sacred mission of humanity.
Wow. Brother John Raymer, let's get,
we're doing it.
Let's go. So we are coming together here. We're going to infinity. We're going to infinity here.
Wow, we're doing it.
And that was amazing. Thank you, Tez. Thank you, Tez, for that beautiful transition.
They're all pathways to peace. That's what I was thinking. I mean, as we were listening here, and what's interesting to me, Ben, we've set the 18th to be our embracing our path forward. So these paths to peace, and we've got a chance to really get specific here. I mean, I am thrilled about what's happened so far and what the potential is for what we're about to do. Just awesome. Oh my gosh. So good.
Amazing.
Together.
Amazing visionary voices, John. And now you are really facilitating this engagement session. So welcome. 200 people here. Thank you for everybody who's been with us the last couple of hours. And thank you to all the visionary voices who have shared their amazing wisdom and work and calls to action. And now we get to really connect as a community. So, yeah, John, this is your go, engagement and connecting. So I'm going to pass the baton to you, John Raymer. Let's get in the canoe and let's get into it. Let's get into this engagement hour.
Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We want to get people engaging with each other. So what you see on the screen is the question. Don't start answering it yet. Okay, hold on. But this is the question. So I'm going to hide the responses. There are no responses yet. Okay. So, and let me in fact get rid of the QR code because it's in the way there. But that's the same poll. If you were there before, we'll be able to go back there. But here's a chance to engage in conversation with each other. And let's get specific here. Let's talk about what specific ways can you contribute to fostering peace and understanding within your immediate community and the wider world. So here's the thing we've been learning is everybody's somewhere. The only way peace on earth is going to happen wherever you are. So the idea that we can act locally, we can then scale what we're doing regionally and then synergize it globally. This is the exciting part about the connectivity that we have. So what we're waiting for is your voice, your feedback on the specific ways that you see that you can contribute to fostering peace and understanding within your immediate community. Now that could be creating a PO zone and getting involved with what you've heard here with David, getting behind an indigenous-led global peace movement, or the work to stand with the mother. I mean, let's be specific. Or this is a chance to contribute stuff that we don't know about that you're up to, that are the specific ways that you can contribute to fostering peace and understanding within your immediate community. So it's that question. That's what I'm proposing, Ben, that we give people the guidance to go into discussions within these breakout rooms and come back. So workshop your answers, okay? Let's make something happen there. Maybe go into it with a thought and then may come out with something, your masterpiece, your genius, and then we'll share it in that Mentimeter there that you'll see, and we'll start to group it all together. So that's our proposal for how we use the breakout groups. And I'm ready to get people into conversation. The feedback we've been getting is nothing is better than people connecting up with each other and being in conversation about making these ideas real. So we want to know how specifically can you contribute? So I'm going to turn it over to you, Becky, to get us into room.
Yes, so I just want to say to everybody, don't leave. You don't have to go into a breakout room. I see people are leaving. You don't have to go. We'll let you stay in the room if you want, even though we're just doing filler. I mean, we're talking to people who are watching the broadcast. We'd love you to go. You don't have to talk if you're in a breakout room. You can just be present and listen. Not speaking is fine as well, but we're going to open the breakout rooms. And I just need to know, John, how many minutes we're going to give our lovelies.
I'm open. Let's see, 20 minutes? How many people you want to put in the room? Let's give everyone a couple minutes, right?
Well, we'll have maybe about 6 in the room, but people, depending on how people accept their invitations. So
what's worked well, John, until now is probably about 12 minutes. I think if people go through it pretty quickly. Okay. So if you put rooms of 5 or 6 and 12 minutes, give everyone a good chance to get in there, share, and then because the reporting is going to happen through the Mentimeter. So let's do 12. Great.
Let's do 12. That's good. And you could be keynote listeners, like Becky said. I think Anna Marie used that term once. So you could be holding the conversation, you don't have to speak, but do it. Let's get engaged. This is the game here, guys. If not now, when? I mean, if it's possible, if even it's possible that we could stand with the mother and bring forth peace on earth, I can't believe it would be like, yeah, well, I got something better to do. I mean, that's not something to miss. What a chance we have here. It's within our reach. These are our pathways to peace. You may know what we need to hear. So don't be shy. All right.
All right. So here we go. We're going to open the rooms and everyone.
Just one more time. The question, John, that people are answering in the rooms.
Okay. In what specific ways can you contribute to fostering peace and understanding within your immediate community and the wider world? And I think we're going to put it in the chat. I put it in Messenger for you to put into the chat. And then we can put it into the breakout room so you'll have it there.
Yes. Do you want to put it in now so they have it in the chat when they fly out there? Do you have it to copy paste or?
I sent it to you. Hold on. I'm going to grab it. I got it.
All right. Because once they leave, then they won't have the question in the chat.
Okay. We can put it into the question. Here it is in the chat.
There we go. Oh, there it is. All right. Here we go. Opening the rooms. Fly, 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 butterflies. You can accept that invitation to join the breakout room and fly to your room. Wonderful. People accepting and flying out. And then you get to fly back here afterwards.
I can't wait to hear what people come up with. I mean, this is really, for me, we're on the edge of the unknown. And I am so happy with what we've been doing these last couple of days. And reading that feedback, we've never had feedback like that. We've never taken the time to ask people what they're thinking. And I don't know, and everyone's able to see the responses, and we're encouraging everyone to give us their feedback, give us that more thoughtful, reflective way of looking at what we've done here. Give us suggestions how to make it better. We've had well over 50 responses. Let's see. Looking now.
We have one room where everybody accepted the invitation to fly into. That's great.
Why don't we bring up Audrey and Antoinette and continue the conversation?
Yeah, I agree.
Keep that conversation going here live in the room with these two amazing, powerful. So let's ask the question. John, let's go ahead. Why don't you ask Madam Audrey the question that people are asking themselves in the Zoom room, and then we can ask Antoinette Rootsdawtah the same question. John Raymer, take it away.
Yeah, the question that we're answering is in what specific ways can you contribute to fostering peace and understanding within your immediate community and the wider world?
Thank you so much for that question. And of course, that was my whole presentation. And that was to take personal responsibility for how we are minding our everyday thoughts, speech, and action. So that is our biggest contribution to peace, because if we have violent thoughts, violent actions, and violent speech towards ourselves as well as to others, then we are away from peace. So this is our holy ground where we are here and now. And that is the most important contribution we can give to world peace, because the individuals are the collective reflection of everyone within that community that gets projected into the global landscape. So thank you.
Yes. Antoinette, you want to jam on that? Yeah, please. Do you need to be unmuted? Let me see. Okay. All right.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Audrey, because we did come back from Hawaii last week, and that's what part of the aloha vibes. So one of the things that I also learned too, that's why I really love going to the islands and learned from my other sister, was that
outside of our box, gaining and learning new relationships outside of the current circles that we're actually in, and this is one of the things that I realized as they were sitting there trying to protect the Mauna, was that she said that they needed the tourists as well. This is not a fight against, us and them, but but a more of a collaboration of that we're stronger together. So I think that's one of the things that's going to be our path to peace, is that it's never been at us against them, but unless we actually address the issues that's affecting all of us and we're able to hear each other out. So that's part of the thing that Pato was speaking about earlier. And that's the intellectual cross-fertilization between all the cultures and races. And so we understand, like, on certain indigenous lands and certain areas, that we can't go back, but we do have to go forward. So a lot of these cultures and communities that are actually coming together, if we're recognizing and righting the wrongs that were done and then achieving and holding hands together so that way we can move in the future, I believe that's our pathway to peace.
Yes. Well, I'm in a privileged position to be able to have close relations with so many remarkable social innovators and people committed and thinking together about how we weave our strategies together. So specifically for me, enabling others to achieve purpose in the face of uncertainty is the gift that I get to give, to actually be able to contribute by weaving together what we're doing and turning what we have into what we need so we can create peace on earth. That seems like a spot that there's room for. Dr. King's idea, those who love peace need to organize as effectively as those who love war. We can do much better at how we know each other, relate to each other, understand what we're up to, and synergize together. And like Audrey, we're there for you. When you've got one of your films, knowing that, and those experiences together, and Antoinette and what you and Pato are doing, I know people are going to want to take that film into their community. So building a bridge with you, okay, how does that film manifest itself? How's the dreams that we have evolve the potential and possibility together like we never have before? That's the specific thing. So in one world, people are declaring missions. We're monthly mission boosts. We're looking at how we can actually practically, strategic, tactical, and operational. It's at all abstractions, the whole ladder. So challenging ourselves and willing to do new things and be vulnerable and take the feedback, but break some eggs if we need to. That's a metaphor that with using the Mentimeter, using the reflective feedback, this is our attempts to use these new tools. We're wondering, what are all the intelligences that we need to be aware of so we can act more intelligently? Nature, sacred intelligence, artificial intelligence. Yeah, Antoinette, please. Yeah. Audrey, either way. Okay.
Go ahead, Antoinette.
Yeah. Thanks, Audrey.
Okay, well, she's muted, so Antoinette, you can have to unmute yourself. Yeah. But while she unmutes herself, Antoinette, let me just say very quickly that the true love is to be able to rejoice in seeing the infinite beauty and potential that already resides within each person to blossom into the fullness of its own fruition. And the true love encourages that because, you want to be able to see everyone reach the beauty of their potential. So in that arising, and we are all capable of that because we have been gifted with sacred life. So we come together in joyous expression of support for each other to see the fullness and the blossoming of each individual potential as we stand within the field of infinite possibilities that become the expression of each person's inner beauty. Thank you.
Awesome. That's so beautiful. So I was going to tell you, John, so I love that Mentimeter. And what I didn't get a chance to say earlier was that when we go back to Africa, we're going to be doing the Ubuntu festival that is going to be taking 4 days in South Africa, Cape Town. This is going to be so amazing because I believe what they're doing, you know, is they're creating like a template of kind of like what building beloved community looks like. When we did the Martin Luther King Day, I was like, building beloved community, what does it look like? And it looks like an Ubuntu Day. You know, we're going to talk about the environment. We're going to talk about wellness. We're going to talk about all these different things all in one day or in a group of 4 or 5 different days. So because this festival is happening so quickly and it's not enough time for a lot of our international guests to come, it is open for international guests to be able to come March 21st through the 24th. But for those who cannot make it during that time, this is where I need you, John.
Okay.
So I'm doing this live on air, inviting the Sign Network, Compassion Games, you know, to sit there and come on board with us. I want you to bring that Mentimeter. I want you to bring your Zoom. I want you to bring the network. And I want you guys to participate in this Ubuntu festival with all of us there in South Africa. Because this is what we're talking about as far as we're bridging the divides. We're bringing the international community in, and we're bringing the voices of South Africa in the spirit of Ubuntu outside to the rest of the world. This is a collaboration. This is what we're talking about when we're stronger together, and this is how we move forward. So I'm asking you on air, and then you'll get the formal invitation letter later. But just say yes.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, you know, remember when we did the radical collaboration by teaming up? At the heart of that was this quote from Dr. King. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be until I am what I ought to be. So, my God, in Ubuntu Day, we are down for that. We are totally in. That's what...
In one world, bring Ubuntu all up in the one world.
Okay. Hey, one world was made for that. Okay. That's what we're doing. It's so good. All right. I think we're going to be closing the rooms in just a couple of seconds. So here's what we're planning to do. That same question, everyone's going to get a chance to respond, and then we're going to be able to group the responses. It gets really interesting. So there's 2 steps to this. And let me turn on the QR code in case anyone needs it. But it's the same poll, that's what they call them, that we were using before. But I'm going to present the question and encourage people to give us their answers. And then we're going to see the answers emerge. And then using one kind of intelligence, artificial intelligence, it's able to group them based upon what people are saying into categories. And it's fun. You know, we asked ChatGPT what an awakened humanity would look like. How would we know? What are the signs and indicators? And it turned into a fascinating conversation about the role for these different intelligences. You know, what can we learn from nature's elders? What can we learn from embodied intelligence, from sacred intelligence? So intuitive intelligence. And we're going to be sharing that as we move towards our follow-up on the 18th, 2 sessions that day. So in addition to the real-time feedback, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be getting reflective feedback in this survey. It's been really fabulous. All right, the time is up. Becky, I'm getting a notice. It looks like people...
Yes, we have closed the room, so everyone will be back in here within less than 1 minute. We'll start flying back in.
All right. And while we're doing that, here, hold on. You know, I'm so glad you asked me, Antoinette, to do that. That's just one more sign that really we are living in the presence of the miraculous.
She asked for that. You know, the founder of the Ubuntu Festival, who's coordinating it, also with the Charter for Compassion, she said, how can we get our international community to participate in with us? And I was like, oh my God, you need John and Summer from the Sign Network, which is now One World, you know, but I was like, that's who you need. You always bring everybody in, and then we all come together and we all start working together. That is the real spirit, you know, so yes.
You're helping me realize my sacred mission. That is so perfect.
Well, thank you for allowing us to be able to do ours.
Oh, yeah, that's the win-win. That's the holy thinking.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. Brother, there you are, Ben. Hey, we just committed to get involved with Ubuntu Day. That's coming.
Oh, I heard that. I heard it all through my earpiece here. I was in a breakout room, but I was listening to you guys as well. That's it. That sounds exciting. There was a rich conversation here.
It really is. I mean, we are so fortunate. All right. So we want to get the feedback from everybody. I'm going to share my screen. Let me see if I'm doing this.
Just quickly, which date is Ubuntu Day?
It's March 21st to the 24th.
All right. Beautiful.
All right. So I don't want to hide the responses. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. Here we go. So you got a chance. And I think we said it so you can even put in more than one response. But we're encouraging you to either go on your phone to menti.com and use the code or QR code. That's the easiest way. You know, just take a picture of that. You'll see when your camera identifies that, it's going to give you a little link to go to and start to put in your answers here.
Can we get a link in the chat too, John, just for those who might be...
Put the link in the chat as well. So that
just hover above the code and it should grab you. You should be able to grab the link.
I got it. I think there it is. Okay. So now let me make sure I got it right. I don't see anything happening yet. Hold on. Hold on. Should be capturing responses, right? Ben, would you see if it's working just to be sure?
The QR code?
I see them coming. Okay, they're coming. There we go. Okay. Wanted to make sure. This is new. Okay, I see what's going on here. I'm going to be able to scroll down. And I think if I go like this, it lets you do even one at a time, right? So these are the specific ways that folks are saying they can contribute to fostering peace and understanding within their immediate community and the wider world. Okay. Zen and the art of subration. I don't know what subration is. Through my weekly online Awakening World shows, create more conscious media, bring forth and live my understanding of the conscious, loving, abundant nature of the universe. Specific ways, higher education towards the infinite, listening deeply from the heart. Bring people together, diverse cultural traditions and the wisdom teachings to mold them together in a new way that unites all who now share the same lands with the First Nations people. All right. Now here's a little exercise that's happening. I press the space bar. They say they're sorting the circles from the squares, and look, and I'm going to hide the QR code. I'm going to assuming that everyone's got it that needed to get it. And we've had 6 groups have been put together. The highest number have been characterized as spiritual practices, and then media, spiritual practices and media, collaboration, community engagement, cultural diversity, and there's still 11 responses that are uncategorized. So let me go back and let us see what's emerging. So here's the top. Just going to go down slowly enough for you can appreciate what we are collectively thinking and speaking. Support a local nature preserves peace and resources projects. PO zones. David Gershon and I were talking about 40 PO zones appearing during these 40 days. You can make your town a PO zone town. I actually start with the 6 feet around me. You know, Ben, that approach to making peace. If I can keep the 6 feet around me, peace, it's a good start. Starting from within.
That's a good one. I like that.
Uplifting children and teenagers way we are being uplifted here, the way we're being uplifted here. Yes. Oh my God, the next generation, that's our responsibility. Try to be aware and foster connection among them. All right, let's do a little bit of grouping. Let's see now we've got some more in there. There are 6 groups. And
there is a link in the chat. If the QR code's not working, or menti.com and the code, that should work. If you go to menti.com and use that code 289999348, you'll get there. But there's also a link in the chat. There are multiple ways to get there.
All right. So we've had 67 responses. Now, how we make meaning from this and then how we act upon that, that's what we're discovering in this symposium. All right. Now, there is another question I had. Should we go to another question, or what do you think?
We had some great, I got into a breakout and it was beautiful, the conversations that were happening in there. And, one of the comments I heard was someone said, I would answer the question differently if it wasn't for the meditation that Gabriel really transformed. I think it was Annie, and took her into a different space with a different answer. So it might be great if people, John, want to put their hands up and just share from the rooms or anything that the Visionary Voices has inspired in you, or if there's anything you want to share. Maybe we'd hear a little bit from the community before the next. I
think that's a good idea. And let's do it in 2 minutes. If we could do 2-minute shares, how about that? All right, and we could even find the timer to turn this.
Up 2 or less is great.
All right. You don't have to talk for 2 minutes if you don't want to. Okay. Is it 5, Ancient Love? Let's see. Here, I'm going to add. Oh my gosh. We've got the future generations here too. So, Becky, help me. Okay, you guys are unmuted. Yeah.
My name is Fee, and this is my daughter, Faith. She is 6. And she did not get to finish what she was saying in our breakout rooms. So if you don't mind, she would like to share.
I think I forget where I was.
You were talking about how we all take our big breaths, take big 3 breaths to open up the magic in our hearts.
And while we stop trying to push. And while we do those 3 breaths, we harness the magic. If you guys have kids, you can tell them you don't have to be afraid of the dark, because we watched a movie on Netflix and it means bright was too bright, but dark was very good. So they are they all in together, and they did it for years and years past now. And dark was really nice to that kid who was really afraid of mostly everything. So me, I put it on for my family, and
do with those big breaths to find the peace.
Okay, hold on, no big breaths. Hold on. Where was I at? Okay. And how dark was nice to that kid, because he was, I said, he was afraid of everything. So dark lended him a hand so he didn't be afraid of the dark. So now, I'll say, I'm not afraid of the dark anymore, because in my little bathroom, I'm always afraid. So I just take 3 breaths, and I'm gonna go, and then I see colors all around me.
Wow, those breaths are powerful. I think you're really wise. Yes, if you're afraid of the dark, take a couple of deep breaths, because the light is coming. It's every day it goes like that. From the dawn to the midday to the sunset to the darkness back again. Wow. That's
and we have in the chat. We want to know the film that you saw, because that sounds like a wonderful film. Please, do you remember the name of it?
We do not.
Afraid of the dark.
No. Yeah. I'll check and I'll put it in the chat for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Fabulous. There you go.
Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Fee. Thank you, Faith, for sharing that. Beautiful.
And the Mentimeter.
Big breath and the little breath. There it is.
All right, we got Stanley's here. Stanley. Need you to unmute.
Mute. Okay, I'm allowed to unmute. Thank you. So I run othernetworks.org, and I catalog Humanity Rising's episodes, and among other things. But what the world could use that I would like to contribute to is a global calendar of activities like this. A global calendar, and we need a team of people to scour the world for activities that deserve to be mentioned on the calendar.
Nice. All right. That could be your mission in one world.
Whatever. Yeah. I'm totally confused by so many things going on that, so I need your advice as to where I put my energies.
Well, my mentor would say, relax, it gets worse.
Yeah, of course it does. But
because we're interconnecting communities, like what you, in fact, Jim Garrison from Humanity Rising is going to be involved on the 18th, thanks to what you and Tex and others were doing the other. So this complexity, yes.
Yeah.
And if there's ways.
That was my pleasure to be able to give you a call and say, hey, where's Jim? And Tex was going, Jim needs to be part of this. Okay, certainly.
That's how
and
it
so,
happened.
So was Shannon. And so we linked up with you and made sure that happened.
You know, and that just happened with Antoinette, if you saw for Ubuntu Day, right? We need to make new commitments to each other. That's the change. It's our promising, our capacity to invent our future through making commitments with each other. So thank you, Stanley. Thanks for proposing that.
I should add my motto. My motto is helpfulness brings people into focus. Helpfulness brings people into focus.
All right. Well, game
it's an
on.
Important part of kindness. You can't have kindness without some level of helpfulness.
Amen.
Passion games. Game on. All right. We got more people coming in. Alia. Teach me how to say it.
Aaliyah, thank you so much for having me, and thank you. This is a wonderful thing. I'm so grateful to be part of it, and I'm going to put my project in the chat so you can see. I had an amazing experience with kids, kindergarten through 9th grade, where they became friendly because they didn't know how to be friends because their parents were fighting all the time, and they didn't ever see adults who actually taught them how to be friends and who actually. So I was a happy adult who was fair, and that's all they needed. And I asked them to write the rules. I took away all the things that they were getting in trouble, all timeout. I made a peace bench, and we talked out our differences. And I saw peer counseling and peer tutoring organically. And I have no idea where to take it, because right now they've changed the schools so much to this agenda here that they forgot that we need to collaborate. That's what's going to save this world. It's collaboration tools. So I'm starting a new site also. It's Co-Creative Connections. And it's going to be a love site, but it's not going to be like anyone you see out there with all the gimmick crap and stuff. It's going to be, you can partner with people for friendship, for projects, for whatever. And that's my goal, is to do that. And then hopefully I can find some teachers in schools that want to do this project. My goal is to teach artists and art teachers this protocol. I call it the Peace Bench and the Friendship Circle protocol. And I would love to take it on to wherever it could go, because I saw it work. But the person who does it has to be a happy and centered, loving, fair adult. That's all. Otherwise, because I gave it to some schools and they had the 4th graders police the 3rd graders. And I went, no, that's like the whole thing that is opposite from what I was trying to do. But I helped give them back their school, you know?
Very good. Wow. There you go.
So Blessings.
Inspiring and specific. Way to go. Yes.
Love your energy, Aliyah. Love your energy. That's great.
And
Aliyah.
I would love to know where to take it, or if anybody is interested, I have a page that's there. You can see the story. And please, I'm on Facebook, Aliyah Selah. Please, if there's anybody that wants to do this and spread it, I'm looking for partners that are interested.
Okay, let me show you one thing. So I see Julie put a chat about the connection field and the one world. They're built on this platform called Mighty Networks. Now look at this, though. This is a way to get to know each other. This is in the connection field, or this happens to be in one world. This kind of people, you click on this and you say, okay, there's this guy here. It writes a statement, what we may have in common based upon what you've put in your profile. Then you're able to connect to that person. This is the next generation of getting to know each other and getting connected to each other. This happens to be one world, but that people explorer, the people magic that you're seeing there, that's happening in the connection field as well. That's part of this platform called Mighty Networks. So there's lots of places where your mission can be declared and you can gain support in this community. That's what we're doing, interconnected communities. Thank you. It's fabulous. All right. Let's bring Mark on he's got his hand up. I'm adding him. Thank you. Hi, nice to meet you. Welcome to
The pleasure is mine, John. Thank you so much for inviting me to chat. I'm kind of new here. I was invited by a wonderful woman named Heidi Little.
Yes.
And she felt it was urgent that I should come here as soon as possible to share some good news and some hope that we might have found one large piece of the puzzle to turning around our situation globally. And we're calling this like a mega crisis that we're in, right? This meta crisis, this poly crisis. We have AI, genetic editing with CRISPR. We got 3 world wars potentially, climate change, mental health crises. And the main crisis is a cultural crisis, right? This interconnecting that Aliyah, I think, just talked about, and Stanley, and that amazing website you just put up there, John. Spirit really is connecting, but there's a certain kind of logic to it that is also intuitive. And I feel like the people who have that truth in their beingness can be it, but they can't really share it unless somebody else is also a conduit. And we have a lot of people in the world right now that are unfortunately a little bit lost. And it's hard to share that kind of truth unless you're sort of born with it, or you had something happen to you that can get it inside of your consciousness. So we have a new kind of way, a new kind of universal logic, which has 200 polarities in it that we have found a way to harmonize in a circle of life. It's a new kind of self-grounding kind of alpha and omega logic that science can understand for the first time. And so it's kind of like a soulful thinking that I think we can teach a lot quicker than what we've done in the past. And we've sort of gamified it in something called the universal story of being. And I saw a few people post that in the chat there. They have this narrative form, and you learning these kind of universal 200 universals, I think can happen a lot quicker if we meet people where they are. And we're trying to create these, I guess, 64 wisdom teams to organize the amazing talent that is in the world. It just isn't moving quite in the right direction together. It's not coherent. I think I just met Julie. She has a coherence project, and this creates a kind of super coherence between all these contradictions that are ripping us apart. So I would love to be on your calendar, Stanley. I actually went on 5 hunger strikes, and I have 9 more to go over the next year. So it's not for everybody. I don't recommend doing this for everybody. There's a lot more activities you can try and do. But for the politicians, they seem to listen to the Gandhi approach, where if you go on hunger strikes in a smart way, they seem to have a non-violent impact, and it can create a peaceful revolution. So that's sort of what I'm all about. I'm very excited too. And if you would love to join up, please give me a message here, mjm11@ualberta.ca. It's my university. And a lot of you might have gotten messages from me already. So yes, it should be there too. All right. Thanks, guys.
No, that's great, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, there's a pattern about how we get to know each other, right? Discovery is part of it. And then being able to weave together and having more appreciation. We want to give you more space for that. So yeah, knowing your sacred mission and what you're up to and accelerating, this is what this is all about. So bravo. Looking forward to learning more. All right, let's add Suzanne. She's always talking about how to change the world in practical ways. Yes. Let's hear you. Let me make sure you're unmuted, or Becky's.
Yeah, I am. Thanks, John. Yeah, hi. Well, Mark, you should enter my essay contest. There's some absence of ideas about what we can do to make system change happen in any rapid fashion, which the world so needs. So I've stuck my money where my mouth is and put out substantial money prizes for essays written from 2050 when the world is working, looking back. How did that happen? So you could put your system in there, Mark, and write me an essay. I'm sorry if I'm a little obnoxious about posting this, but it's a big deal for me. And by the way, David Lorimer of the Scientific and Medical Network created this with me. He's my power figure behind me supporting this. So I'm going to put it in the chat and love to have your entries. The actual official thing that you'll find when you click on the link is that it's due February 14th, which is only a few days away. So I've written in here, it's okay to come in till the 21st. The winners don't get announced till the 29th on the crazy day that rarely occurs. So David actually picked that day and said, let's announce them then. So, okay, so here it goes into the chat.
Good, Suzanne. Good, Suzanne. We want to discover these opportunities, these ways that we're contributing, and then really not just talk them, but actually figure out how we can get behind and support that. That definition of leadership about enabling others to achieve purpose in the face of uncertainty, that's everything that we're doing here. That's what this symposium is all about. So thank you, Suzanne. Thank you for bringing that forward. And we'll look to see in follow-up here how we can really turn what we have into what we need here. All right. Oh, my God, Barbara's here. What a good sign.
Thank you. Thank you. It is a great thing to be here, I'll tell you. I have been more inspired today than any of the 5 or 6 things I've done with us. Today just seems to be a format that is really right. I really like it. And so I'm going to put in the chat that we're inviting anybody who's interested in education of young people or just any society. But we work with, our organization is Golden Path of Peace in this country, and in Ukraine, it's called We Stand for the Future. It's an NGO there. And we've been at this for 4 years. I was there for 20 years doing something else. And we have a program in the public schools. And we are at this lift-off moment right now where what we really seek is to expand our leadership team. I don't mean the board, although that would be fine too, but we just want to grow our leadership circle, the circle of people that we talk to all the time and have input with us. And specifically, every Friday, sometimes it's Thursdays, depending on teacher schedule, but we do a webinar. And I've heard so many in Ukraine, I've heard so many people today talk about things that we want to bring to the teachers to expand their capacity to be in the classrooms with these evolved beings called their students, who are just so ready for everything we're talking about. And the teachers aren't. The teachers, there's a gap there. I mean, former Soviet mindset. But the kids are born ready. And so we invite people, if you have any ideas of something you could share with a group of teachers in half an hour, we believe that we plant seeds. We teach the students that they have a master gardener inside of them. And if they live their life knowing that you plant what you want to harvest, then you're always going to be happy. And we also teach them that it's not just their parents who are the heroes and the brave ones in their land. They are the heroes of peace and of the future. And lastly, this last semester, we shared with them some ways to dream boldly. And this next semester is all about how to deal with life when you're in the gap between the way it is and the dream you have. And so if you have something, just a little piece of your theory or some brilliant idea that you would like to share, and you could do it just once and we'll record it and share it, or you want to play in all the ways that our life is about to explode, including the Rotary Club supporting us in some ways, please contact me. So I'm putting my contact information in there. This is the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life. And I love life, but this is the best part.
Oh, Barbara, you're amazing.
Thank you.
Story to realize the work you've been doing in Ukraine for years and years and years. You went there on 9/11, 2001. You've been a part of keeping these kids sane and the work that you've been doing for years. We're so blessed to have you. My gosh. Wow. Thank you, Barbara. So, wow, Ben. Hey, you know what I thought? I don't know what you think about this, but there's a word cloud.
Let's do it.
Let's do one more.
Let's do it. Just let me say, John, all these sharings, right? Before we do that, all these sharings, it feels like we're awakening to humanity's sacred mission and really feeling that the outpouring of people finding each other, sharing the journeys. In many cases, people have been on for decades, but then awakening to the collective, using new tools, new resources that are emerging, like the ones we've been talking about through Mighty Networks, and there are others. But this is such a pivotal moment of literally awakening to humanity's sacred mission. So I want to thank everybody who shared so beautifully all those divine inspirations and programs, and every single one of them is powerful and exciting and uplifting. And as we come together in new ways to connect and to resource each other and to support one another and to follow each other in our leadership, then that's the limitlessness of the power that we can and are becoming, that sphere of influence on the planet that we're all yearning for. So thank you. Thank you for all of those sharings. It's so full of inspiration and hope. John, let's do the one word cloud. What's the question?
Okay. The other thing is we want everybody to fill out the more comprehensive survey. So I'm going to put that in the chat as well.
Two things. One word and then many words.
One word. And I thought we could do this one. It says, describe your vision of a better world in one word. So let me go here and let's see if this is working. If I share my screen, you should see that. Now we don't have the QR code, but you should be able to go right back to it. If not, I can grab it, but it's up. So it's just the next slide.
I think you probably need to add the QR code, John.
Okay, hold on. I have the QR code. Here we go.
You can just go to the next question.
We've got some answers. We got some answers coming. All right. The code is there. Aha. Okay, with a hyphen. Okay, that's acceptable. It's okay to put a hyphenated word. Loving kindness and joy. Verdant. Connection. Wholeness. Peace. Got 12 responses. God consciousness. Loving kindness. Flow state for all. Collaboration. Harmony. Love wins. It's just always that way.
Let's drop the link in the chat too, if we can.
Yeah. Let's do that here. It's the same link. It is in the chat. Give us your one word.
You can go to menti.com and just put it in 28999348. Menti.com, METI.com, 28999348.
Yeah, this is a good little skill for us to learn how to do. So we get the real-time feedback and then being able to get this reflective feedback, we're calling it. So take some time, give us some thought, answer these questions, and then everyone has access to all the answers so we can see together. And we're going to feed our preparation for the follow-up session on the 18th. Nice. So I just put the survey link. Oh, there's a lot coming in. We got 148 responses. Compassionate, absolute spirit, laughter filled, helpfulness, awaken humans. All right.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Love it. Great to
All
see
right.
that.
So we've got 2 more sessions tomorrow, right?
You bet. And they're a little bit different timing tomorrow because of that football match that's happening in the United States tomorrow. So it's 10 a.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Eastern. And tomorrow, session 5 is dedicated to embody and engage. It's going to be awesome. Both the visionary voices and the engagement session are going to be fantastic. I can flash up what's going to be on there. And then bringing it home, session 6. Bringing it home, which will complete this 3-day push, obviously, before there's 2 sessions on Sunday the 18th, but bringing it home, it's going to be amazing. And the engagement session is facilitated by the connection field. It's beautiful to see this just amazing coming together of all these different impact networks supporting each other. One body that's emerging, which is just, it's already here. It's just about coming together, knitting the network. You got to know the network. You got to show the network. And that's what some of these tools are enabling us to do. So having the whole movement with One World, with Connection Field and all these other, impact networks that come together, it's so inspiring. I think that there's a new feeling here. It's not just the format of the visionary voices followed by the engagement. The spirit of collaboration here is, I think, at another level. There's a unity and a freedom for everyone to show up in the way they want to show up that I think we hadn't quite got to this fullness before. So I'm super excited about what this means for World Unity Week coming up in just a few months and all the other things we're going to work on and design. So take us through the timeline, John, and then.
Yeah, I was just going to make that point that we lit the 8th fire during Enlightening Our Way Together. We're right in the middle of the 40 days of peace with the Awakening to Humanity's Sacred Mission. And these are just convergences that we're going to be doing. This will be the Beloved Community Convergence at the end of February that marks the end of the 40 days of peace, the MLK. Like I mentioned earlier, Women's Day is going to be huge this year. It's so important with what's coming down. And then we have Earth Day, standing with the mother, given what we heard from the Koji and the method and the message, the idea of a global powwow of unity happening World Unity Week in New York, Chief Perry. We have the 99 days of peace through unity into Peace Week. And then again,
Japan, Mount Fuji is calling.
I know. And then again, Enlightening Our Way Together. And we have a beat pulse to how we're doing this. And each time we come together, we're growing our collective capacity. I just want to acknowledge Becky. I mean, all the tremendous work that she does for all of us. Again, that Becky, come on, work on this thing. Would you? Where are you there? I'm going to add you. Okay. The hub, the education, training, support, the love, everybody's cared for, taken care of here. Thank you.
Oh, it is my joy. And it's so beautiful to see so many new like-hearted people who are joining us here. We're so grateful. And a lot of people are asking privately and publicly, how do we stay connected? And we together are building One World, that mighty network. And we really want to see you there. We're doing so many things there. It's becoming a source like what Stanley was asking for, a calendar of events. We put all of our events there, and you can use search terms to find other like-hearted people so that you can really, I mean, if you don't know that you're not alone, hopefully this weekend you know you're not alone, and you can stay connected with more and more people through One World. So we would love you to join us. John and I do training sessions all the time to answer every single question with love. and demonstrate how to use this site. We know it's another technology, and yet we're working through all of the chaos to order, the K-order, so that we can find each other and stay connected. So we're just super grateful. We'll be doing another hub huddle. The hub's actually been open. Ingrid's been keeping the hub open for many hours this weekend too. The hub is a Zoom room dedicated to Here You Belong, where we answer all of your questions. So we try to have the hub open when we have gatherings like this so that you can pop in. There's a little space on there called the hub where the Zoom link is too. So we're so grateful that you found us. Join One World, and we'll stay connected, and we'll keep paddling together in this magic canoe.
Just one other mind-blowing thing that we're doing, guys. This is amazing. We learned this during the MLK. So we've just turned on this capability. So if you look at the past events, so the event that happened this morning, you can now say, hey, I want to see that event. Well, not only can you see the recording, but using the AI companion built into Zoom, you can do this. This is a new capability. Just imagine this. Based on AI, it's gone in to identify what it considers to be the highlights that happened. And you could say, hey, I just want to see just the highlights. And it's broken it into what it considers to be smart chapters from what happened this morning. I can go just to that section or just to that section. So a couple of things are going on here. There's summaries that are being written based upon what happened. The entire transcript of what happened has been transcribed here into English, and the chat is here as well. We're calling this a smart recording. So you can come back and say, I don't want to see the whole thing now. I just want the highlights, just want to see the chapters. I mean, there's new standards of performance. That's the point in all this.
That's great, John. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that new innovation on the how we can digest information. I mean, it's information overload, right? So it's a challenge. So this is beautiful techniques, tools for us to stay connected, stay informed, whether it's in One World, which is a great resource, and other spaces and resources that are available. It's amazing. We have a new chapter opening up in our collaboration. I want to thank you, John, for this session. Peacemaking. You are a peacemaker. Becky, you are a peacemaker. And we have another peacemaker. We've got the hits just keep on coming, because while we're approaching the 3-hour mark of this broadcast, we're about to wrap it up. But we do have the Awakening World starting very soon as well. By the way, Tez, I did send you in the chat. I want to ask you in a minute if you would close us just with a 1 minute, 2 minute reflection, Tezikiah, Gabriel, in a moment. But tell us, Scott, about the Awakening World tonight. What's coming up?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Well, you know, every year we collaborate with Unity Earth and always build our Awakening World shows around whatever's happening. So tonight, in 13 minutes, as soon as this ends, please come on over to the Awakening World. Chief Phil Lane will get us off to a start with a beautiful prayer. And then you're going to get a chance to hear the great Ben Bowler, who has just not done enough co-hosting. So he's going to do more co-hosting tonight. This man is amazing. Anyway, Ben and I are going to be chatting with some of our favorite people, including Becky and Gary Malkin and Reverend Deb Moldow. And as always on the Awakening World, we have a lot of music. So there's going to be 2 songs from Tatiana Speed, 2 songs from Omushar. We're going to hear from Tammy Scarlett. And then we always close with a beautiful KES group healing. That's very, very powerful. So please, as soon as it's over, come right on through and join us. And I also want to just let people know that next weekend, we are wanting to support the great work that John Raymer is doing. So we're going to kind of get everything set up on the Saturday night show, Saturday night, February 17th, with John co-hosting and all of his kind of key collaborators to help prepare for the next day, that's Sunday, the 18th. So join the Awakening World. I'm going to put the Zoom room links in so you can come straight into the Zoom room. I'll put that in the chat box right now, and hope to see you all in 12 minutes.
Yeah. Scott is such a great example of this new way of synergizing together and caring for each other, making space for each other. Always, always, always. So that session, the 17th that we're doing with our Awakening World, is the night before the follow-up session to what we're doing here with the symposium. So it's all woven beautifully together. And, we're committed to discovering something here, right? I sensed it in that last session that there is our growing edge and turning what we have into what we need to get what we want. And may it be peace on earth. I mean, David was right. There is no greater, mission for humanity than to create peace on earth. Boy, if we could, wouldn't that be a great story?
It's a good indicator, isn't it? That we're on track.
Something's happening. And summer's here too, I bet. I'm just so grateful to you, Ben, and the family and everyone surrounding us with all the love and support we're getting. We are so grateful. I am so grateful. Oh, there she is. Oh my gosh. She's in a love bubble.
Yes. It's been amazing. Thank you so much. I don't know. I'm kind of speechless, to be honest. Just full to the rim. Amazing.
We can have 3 breaths. And just as we're preparing for the 3 breaths, love that. I just do want to thank everyone for this session, everyone who participated, everybody who's here. There were 250 people in the room at one point. That's amazing that people are showing up. That's such a great encouragement for all of us who are working and weaving. And it's a big, everybody here is doing their bit. Thank you, John, for co-hosting. I want to thank Julie Krull, Chief Phil Lane, Audrey Kitagawa, Jyoti Ma, Luisah, Teish, David Gershon, Patso Banto, and Antoinette, Rootsdawtah. Wow. Steve Farell. Well, that was a beautiful message. And Tezikiah, Gabriel. So maybe to bring us in to close this, because it's so important to close it in a good way. Get ready for 10 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you so much, Joy. Please stay with us for the breathing and the close. But 10 a.m. tomorrow Eastern, 7 a.m. I know it's early on the West Coast, but it's going to be awesome tomorrow. Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Embody and Engage. Really, it's worth it, making a special effort. And then at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, we'll have Bringing It Home, which will be the conclusion of this State of 6. We'll have a week's break before the harvest, before the 18th hour awakening. Tez, thank you.
Yes.
And thank you for helping us to bring this to a good conclusion today.
Thank you for asking me. I'm so honored, truly. So it feels like so much, right? So much beauty. Again, so much wisdom, so much sacred. So as you can lift your arms, as you breathe, take a big breath and stretch into the heavens and bring down all and from around all of this beautiful energy that's surrounding us. And then bring your arms into the sacred circle right here, right now. And then bring all of that into the heart. Into the heart. And yes, Becky, we get to hug ourselves as we embrace everyone here and those who couldn't be with us. And so let's just, as we breathe, 3 breaths, as Faith instructed us. One where we breathe in all of the universe, and we breathe out peace, as our beautiful friend Jennifer Kim teaches us. Breathe in the world and breathe out peace. Breathe in world. Breathe out peace. And now feel it. We're doing it. It's here. Peace on earth, right here, right now. And so it is. And we should all be clapping. Clapping, hooting, yelling. Capture the joy of this incredible moment. And peace. Thank you.
Fill out the survey. Tell us what you think.
We Aboriginal people are universal.
Our dreaming doesn't separate heaven from earth, as we are connected to the universe from the ground, our mother, to the trees, to the animals, to the sky, to the stars, to the sun and the moon.
I can hear them calling as they ride through me their song, and I can feel their spirits as they're singing me back home to travel across the land of our people still so strong to take it either back to where he belongs. So let's stand up together, bring your totems to our fire. Let's stand up together and bring the spirit back to life as we place them in the sand. Like the eagles, they're so high. Let's stand up together as our tribes all unite. U-N-I-T-Y spells for unity. U-N-I-T-Y.
We are born with connection to our ancestors for our blood. Our hearts beat the same, whether or not we are conscious of it. Our ancestor spirit carries it and is connected to our spirits, just as every generation before. Our blood and our spirit is our key, not the color of our skin.
One by one we'll take it to the top. A message from our dream. Till we get there, we won't stop. Won't you sing with me, my sister? Yes, sing with me, my friend. Sing with me, my brother. Sing it to a brother, man. As one till the end. Let's stand up together. Bring your totems to our fire. Let's stand up together and bring the spirit back to life as we place them in the sand. Like the eagle, they're so high. Let's stand up together as our tribes all unite.
Well, U is for universal unity, and negotiations for peace are necessary. I is instill international integrity to turn the tides of tyranny. Why? Cause that's the way it should be when we all stand together universally.
Close your eyes and imagine it. Feel it as your spirit comes into consciousness. Connect to your ancestors. No matter where you are, you will always have your connection to your country and your ancestors, as your ancestor spirit will never leave you. Trust in it and let it guide you. We are all brothers and sisters in the global community. Let us unite. Justice, peace, harmony for all.
Let's stand up together. Bring your totems to our fire. Let's stand up together and bring that spirit back to life as we place them in the sand. Like the eagle, they're so high. Let's stand up together as our tribes all unite. U-N-I-T-Y spells for unity. U-N-I-T-Y. U-N-I-T-Y spells for unity. U-N-I-T-Y.